This episode is brought to you by our lovely sponsors, Pawtion, all natural single protein dog food snack company. Go to pawtion.com.au, enter Muscle Talks 25 for your first order. That gets you 25% off, and Muscle Talks 10 for continued orders for 10% off. Also, our premium Australian supplement company, Primabolics, best protein and pre-workout and more supplement company on the market. Go to primabolics.com.au, use discount code MuscleTalks15, quite a generous one there. And let's get on with the podcast. Your mind will give up before your body, and I've noticed it so much. Yeah. I've realised that I could stop at 5, and before you know it, I'm doing 9, 10.
Most people stop when it starts to burn.
Yes.
It's like that's the first 7 reps, it starts to burn. If you're going to stop then, you've got so many more in the tank, especially with legs.
I've done that for years.
It's most people.
I did that for years. Honest. I didn't realise.
It's my job to make sure they don't fucking do that.
All right, guys, you got to take on George as a coach, guys.
Yeah. Probably around 18 years old as I finished school. And then I was going into electrical engineering at university. And so that's what I thought I wanted to do. Got into university. It was very hard, even though I was good at science and maths. It was and physics too. Yeah. It was next level stuff. So that's when I had the idea of coaching. Now, I didn't look like I could be a coach back then, so I knew some work had to be done to have a little bit of authority, with my look and everything. But that's kind of where my mind was set. And so I didn't even have much of a chat with my parents. I just kind of told them, I'm like, look, I'm not happy doing this. I realized, I vowed to myself as well, I'm going to do something that makes me happy, and I'm just going to go head first into it and figure it out. I'll make something of it,
He's shy, maybe not shy. There's no money in science. Engineering was just a delay. Music was a thought. Training helped him mentally. He sits in the shower and thinks sometimes. Wants to help many not go through what he went through. Salesman once, but he blamed the leads. Does not do AIs. Well, you don't want your estrogen to crash, and you don't want it to be high. Everything training, competing, PEDs. Everything as 3 things, maybe 4, maybe 5. Please help me welcome competitor, trainer, athlete, George Adams.
Thank you.
How are you, mate?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks.
That's good.
There you go. Yeah, because usually, I've noticed you've got let me tell you 3 things. No, let me tell you 4 things about this.
Yes.
Let me tell you 5 things about this.
Yeah.
And I noticed your page is it's quite educational. You're really trying to push content, raw content, I believe, but content that you're trying to just teach people things. And maybe the questions you had in the past that you never really got answered, you're trying to do that. Is that what I'm noticing on your page?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
More than likely. Like you kind of touched on it there in that little intro. I told you kind of a little bit about my backstory.
Yes.
But yeah, kind of went through, a fair bit growing up. I didn't have the worst life, obviously, upbringing or anything like that. But a bit more difficult than some people.
Yeah.
I guess. So,
I saw that. So I'm going to get into that, but let's start with the first question.
Yes.
Let's start here, and then we'll segue into everything, because everything segues. So let's start with Shy George. All right. When did this all begin? Like, what age possibly? Was it most of your age? Like, even now, are you the shy guy? Is there some shyness in you? Or is it gone? Because what I've seen on your page, you do a bit of role playing.
Yes, I do.
I know. And actually later on, when I started looking through your that message you sent through, you've played the guitar, is that correct?
Yes.
You play the guitar.
Yeah.
You role play. Which to me shows me that you're not very shy.
Yeah,
I mean, you know what I mean? But tell me about shyness, and I'll tell you why I want to bring this up in a sense, because I'm trying to, I don't even proofread, by the way. That's why it's always clunky.
That's cool.
Because I don't like to proofread and try to keep it raw. Shyness. I know sometimes like actors, stage performers, when they're in front of a camera or on stage in front of crowds, they're a whole different person. But in private, in the real world, sometimes when there's no scripts, there's no role playing, that's when you find out how vulnerable they are and how shy they are. Is that kind of like you, in a sense?
Yeah, I think shy wouldn't be the word to describe it. It would be more so. I like to be. I like to be in my own little world. Sometimes I like to be to myself. I like my alone time.
Okay.
So I guess the shyness would have stemmed from, obviously, like I mentioned, the social anxiety that I had growing up, which followed into depression and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure we'll get into that. Can
you explain?
Yeah.
No, you keep going.
Okay.
Like I said, sometimes we don't even, I've done podcasts and we don't even do scripts.
Okay.
So there's no such thing. The script is a safety net.
All right.
Brings us back.
All right.
In case we skewer off somewhere or we sit in that.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want that. You won't have that, trust me.
We don't want the silence. You know, the silence is what's scary.
Yes.
And plus Chris can't edit that. So, yeah, keep going. I want to know, tell me about like what is, what do you call social
anxiety?
Social anxiety. Explain that to us.
Okay. Well, essentially what it kind of boils down to is in social environments with a lot of people, I kind of shut down in a way. Now, I've kind of tried to backtrack and I guess the word would be diagnose why or where that stemmed from. I'm not too sure. But that's kind of what I had. You know, I was as a child, apparently I was very energetic, very outgoing, everything like that. And so it kind of happened towards maybe, I would say year 6. What's that, 12 years of age? Around 10, 12 years of age, that's when things started to kind of change a little bit for me. Because I was very outgoing, and I know that. And around people that I do know, I am outgoing, and I can be myself because I'm more comfortable with them. But around that age, things started to kind of change. I started to notice it. When I would try to talk to girls, it would be a bit of a block, a bit of an obstacle. But even people that I didn't really know, I wasn't sure how to conduct conversation, things like that. So that's kind of the essence of it, I think, to put it in those words. I think it stems from, I grew up, love my parents. They're divorced, but I don't really remember a time where they had like genuine conversation. So I think that's kind of where it stems from. That's as best as I can kind of make sense of it in my head. And so when I was put into the real world, high school, towards the end of primary school, things like that, we have to make connections with people. I wasn't sure how to have those genuine conversations. That kind of just kept going and propagating into my teen years and stuff like that too. And just didn't really know what to do or how to kind of, be in those situations essentially. So it stopped me from being myself because I felt like I would have to put on a facade, a bit of a masquerade to kind of have conversations with people. A little bit of bullying I was subjected to as well. It was nothing too crazy looking back on it, but I think for someone that had a little bit of low self-confidence, it impacted me a little bit harder back then. I'm not sure where you want to go with this, but I can keep talking about anything, man.
Yeah, look, I'm thinking about a few things, and I'll probably intervene a little bit now.
Yes.
I think firstly, I don't know what it's like to live in a separated parent divorce life, right? But my kids do because I'm divorced.
Okay.
And it's fucked.
Yeah.
Like it's fucked. From where I look in, it's fucked. I feel sorry for them, right? I feel sorry for you. Not to say that my parents got on pretty well. I think everyone just goes through it. Chris is with, I'm sure they're loving his parents. Yeah. But it's hard to comprehend that. How old were you when they separated?
God. Like I said, I don't really remember them having genuine conversation. Not sure if they even know this,
That's all right.
that memory of mine, but
right.
They're going to find out.
That's all right.
So they separated officially. I think I was about 15, 16. I think it was about 15.
Well, like I said, that is Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, who is following us on all platforms, but especially here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please, if you could do us a big favor, which helps us reach more people, get better, bigger, greater. We've already had some great guests anyway. Everyone's been a treat. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified every week a new podcast that is launched. And I just want to say a big thank you. But again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy watching Muscle Talks podcasts.
Like I said, it's that I think that would affect you. Like I said, the thing that I saw was that my kids, and probably yourself too, I'm not too sure, you can tell me if not, but I got to sit in my fucking room from the age of, or that one house, from the age of 2 years old. I mean, my parents would have kept me there till I was 50. While you're talking about their grief. But, you know, I had to fight my way out at 20, but until my 20s. And that's all I knew. I knew that backyard. I knew that, like everything, you know, and it was pretty, where I'm not sure if you had to go stay at your dad's or you had to go stay at your mum's, but the fact is you had to fucking live out of suitcases sometimes.
Yes.
How fucked is that? That's what I'm saying. If that's not going to create this world of anxiety and men that are, and women and that are broken, and I kind of feel for you guys because it's a party pooping spoiler. It's fucked. It's not good. It's never going to be good because you guys are uprooted all the time. You fucking got to go here. You got to go there. You got to go here. You got to go there, and it seems to be getting more and more fucked as we go. Anyway, watching what's around us. But I think where I'm going with this now is sometimes, like you said, your parents didn't, like I said, I don't know them and they're Greek. And how old are you?
27.
27.
27 now.
27. I mean, they're probably, what are they, in their 60s?
Just before they're 50s, they're 57.
Well, I'm 56. You wouldn't believe it, right? I could be your dad. I could be your dad.
Yes.
Even though I, look like more your brother. But having said that, so the thing is, it's, and trust me, even them, it would have affected them as well. It's all a big fucked up place, right?
Yes.
And even when I see people living together, that I can't believe they actually don't want to be there.
Yeah.
It's probably, once upon a time I remember saying, the divorce rate's 30%. The divorce rate's 40%. I think the divorce rate's 55%.
Yeah, it's
or 60%, whatever it is now. But the thing is, I can only imagine the percentage of in that 40% or whatever it is of people living together that don't want to be together, that they're just doing it to get to the end of it.
Yeah, 100%. I see that all the time, not even just in marriages, but also relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend.
It blows me away, man.
100%. It blows me away too. I don't know. I don't understand that stuff because obviously probably coming from that background, it's they weren't happy. They stuck together for a period of time for me and my brother.
Of course they did.
Which I, thank them for that.
Yeah, of course.
But maybe in hindsight, and I think they both probably could admit that as well, it probably would have been better if it was done earlier.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
We did it earlier. Giselle said it's a bit like it was earlier. Look, it's just hard. I don't know. It's kind of like, for me, how I look at relationships, when I look at a relationship, even to today, I just look at it like we're in. Like that's it. Yep. We're in.
Yeah.
And in that, I'm ready for not just good times, I'm ready for the debates and the arguments and the fights and the slamming of doors. Cool, let's go, let's do it. But no one can do that anymore.
No.
Like I'm like, that can't break it. Because the only thing that can break it is trust.
Yeah, 100%.
If trust is there, I'm all right. Because I just think long game.
Yes, yeah.
Long game.
Yep.
But everybody, like for me, it's just like the trust part is all I care about.
Yep.
Like I guess faithfulness and not lying to each other, which is difficult in these days. But I believe that is the stronghold.
Yeah.
And that keeps people together. But everything else, I don't care.
Yeah.
And as well, I don't like people putting down each other, but I don't mind.
No, of course not.
Are you fucking serious? Or I'm not listening to you now. That's all right with me. But to put somebody down, to attack someone, to call them an idiot and
No,
this
that's
and
not-
vice versa.
not acceptable,
So, but
for
what
sure.
I'm saying is, it's just, but yeah, I don't know why people. It's just too easy now.
I think it kind of probably comes with this is we're treading touchy waters here, but the society, how society is these days. Because if you look at obviously, your parents, my papu and yaya, it was they've just thrown in the deep end. They came from a village, came overseas, got married. That's it, and they just made it work. Whereas I think a lot of people, there's too many options these days. So people will, go through some little conflict and be like, I'm sick of this. I'm going to go for something that seems better. Never really is most of the time. But I think that's kind of what it stems down to.
I don't know. I just think, like I said, because we're both Greek and we probably can relate to a lot of things.
Yeah.
Maybe Chris as well being, I don't know if Macedonia is really a place, but that's another story. Sorry. As if I give a fuck. But anyway, that's another story. Proudest Macedonian in the world. But having said that, I think, like from what I see, maybe I think because Chris, you wouldn't believe Chris has only been here for 5 years. You think he's an Aussie?
I could tell there was a slight accent.
Oh, was there?
Yes, it was a slight accent.
But isn't it more American?
Oh, there's like an undertone of it, sure. Yeah. That's because I watch American movies and stuff.
Yeah, well, they're taught kind of that language over there. Yeah. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, like, he like sometimes he tells me his cousins came over or they go meet up and he's got like, I've got to take my parents here, I've got to do this. Like whatever it is, they go as a group.
Mm-hmm.
But now we don't have no more of that. We don't do the group thing. And the other thing is, what's funny? Back in the day, and this is what blows my mind, everybody back then was making sure that each one of their friends and families and brothers and sisters all got a house.
Oh, yeah.
No, really. And what they used to do was when the first one got the house, they said, come and live with us.
Yep.
Rent free.
Yeah.
Save your money.
Yeah.
They all worked hard. No one took advantage. Maybe they all cleaned and cooked, whatever.
Yep.
They said, stay here for a couple of years, 2 years. In Greek, Mazib said they left us.
Yeah.
And they did. And they went and they said, good, now you got your house too. And you got your house and you got your family and you got, but we don't fucking, mate, we got to SMS people if we're going to come round and give them notice. It's just, no one wants to, no one cares. No one listens. No one. There's just nothing anymore. There's nothing anymore. That's not just saying there's nothing.
There's not much substance to.
There's a show off now.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a lot of that. I think again that probably comes down to even like I think about a lot of these things, life. But it probably comes down to even the way life is these days is very fast paced. It's very fast paced. And I'll be honest, like even me, I'm not the best with text messages and stuff because I'm so focused on my work and I'm always texting clients.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and that's obviously like, forefront. I have to make sure that they're attended to first.
Of course.
But once all said and done at the end of the day, then I'll message everyone back or when I got some space. But yeah, it probably comes down to the fast paced lifestyle. Everyone's trying to like, scurry for a buck, save up a little bit of money, work hard, but in this economy, it's just so hard, man.
Look, no, this economy is crazy. I can't explain it. But the thing is, and I'll finish with this one since we're Greek boys with one Macedonian in here. The thing is, and we'll just stick to this little bit of culture. The funniest was they had a template, right? Which is, and their template was this. Didn't matter what you earned. I had uncles that had properties, shop owners, painters, a factory worker, a council worker, fucking kitchen hand. It didn't matter. But whenever they went and visited each other, it was Johnny Walker Red, some nuts, Turkish coffee, a bit of a sweet.
Yeah.
No one who had more money brought out Chivas Regal, Green Label. They did not put it on anybody. They kept it
100%.
So fucking simple and respectful for each other that no one felt, he's better than me, even though someone had more Greek columns than the other at their house, and someone had a newer car like a Merc outside. But when they sat down, it was just very simple.
Yeah, I remember my papu would when we would have Easter or Christmas or New Year's or whatever, and all the guys would be out in the back playing cards.
Yes.
They playing cards and betting on whatever card game they were playing with like 5 cents, 10 cents, $1.
That's right. And telling off each other.
And they would just sit there for hours just having a laugh.
Yeah.
Anything like that. Probably a few smokes and a drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not really like that anymore. No, I don't think it is.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. And I think our phone is distracting us.
Yes.
One time we went to go look at a place, me and Chris, for a studio down at Woolloomooloo, and I left my phone here.
Yeah.
And I was in the car going, oh, fuck, I left my phone. And he goes, do you want to go back and get it? I said, nah, don't worry about it now. Let's just go.
Yeah.
You know how beautiful the drive was?
Oh, 100%.
It was.
I knew you were going to go this way with the
best
story. Yeah.
drive ever. I was actually looking around and I was listening to Chris talking. We were talking. And I was not looking down. I wasn't half listening to his story. And when I got out of the car and we were walking through Woolloomooloo, mate, I just felt like I had no baggage.
Yeah.
It was the best feeling in the world, man. Just not having to think somehow I got to grab it, or it beeps or it vibrates or it's just there.
100%.
Like even Chris might be talking to me and I'm SMSing, he's telling me a story. But you were just engaged, you were connected. So I don't know, but that's the story about growing up. But talking about, I guess, you said that if you're comfortable with people, you pretty much be yourself.
Yeah.
But it seems like you also said your social media is definitely you. Is that true?
For the most part, it is. Yes. For the most part.
Well, you're cutting up the cat.
What's for
calories?
You seen that one?
Someone blowing the calories?
Yeah, mate. It got your attention, huh? You remember?
No, it was funny. It's funny.
So it worked.
He's playing 2 role plays. He's playing like maybe his girlfriend, this woman, sitting at the kitchen table, and he's just at the kitchen bench, and he's got a cat there, and he's got a knife, like he pretends he's cutting food. It's a real cat. Right?
First 3 seconds of engagement is important.
Yeah. And then,
yes.
Do you like the role play? It looks like you do a good job with it. You got the Lebanese guy as well.
Yeah,
whoever he is.
Yeah, I've had some Lebanese friends,
Yeah, you got the Lebanese looking
boys out
guy.
west.
You got the girlfriend or the partner.
Decent at doing a girl.
Have they got
impression.
names?
No, they don't. Yeah, maybe I should. Give them some.
Because I looked at it, and I mean, I think you called one Habibi.
No, I don't think. I don't think so. I've definitely done. I'm pretty sure maybe behind the scenes called it Mr. and Mrs. G-Max.
Well, you called her Honey, and I thought, because I had to go back
Honey.
and think, hey, Honey. So I thought maybe her name's Honey.
No.
Honey, So is that you?
Yeah. So, well, I've always, like I said, when I was younger, I was being charismatic and kind of outgoing, right? And behind closed doors with people I know I am like that. It was just in the social settings of like larger environments or group settings with multiple people I don't really know. That's when it was hard for me to kind of be myself. Now, these days, it's a lot easier. Because I think as well, everything's on Instagram, so they see who I am beforehand. So they kind of know how I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But you mentioned also, we'll go there now.
Yeah.
You mentioned depression.
Yep.
You mentioned a psychiatrist.
Yep.
Thank God it was only 4 sessions and you were out, because I'm not a very fan of psychiatrists, because I've gone through some dark times myself.
Yeah.
Especially since 40 to 50, they've heard it that many times in this podcast. I don't think we should say it anymore. But having said that, tell us about your dark time and feeling depression and seeing a psychiatrist and then realizing it's me. I'm the only one that can help myself.
Yeah.
And there's no one else. Explain that to us.
Well, so like I said, the social anxiety was through my teens, right? To late teens. When I kind of had the realization, like there were times in, once again, group settings or talking to girls where I just wasn't comfortable. I always second guessed myself. viewing myself from a third person perspective, which is one of the things that the psychiatrist helped me understand, that that's like not a normal thing to do.
Oh, that's good that the psychiatrist let you know that.
He was actually a good psychiatrist, which is,
do tell me. No, I had a
there
bad
are
one.
so many bad ones.
I had a bad one.
Yeah, there are a lot of bad ones.
Like I got
very lucky.
I was too dark to be able to get out of this guy, and he gave me a cocktail of drugs that's literally.
Yeah,
you do not know where it took me. I didn't even know who I was.
Yeah,
and I will not touch anything again.
Yeah,
no way, because it's mind altering.
Yeah,
and you don't understand it. If it doesn't, if it doesn't balance, and you can't balance, because they've given you chemicals, because that's what your brain is.
That's exactly right.
They're just guessing. They're just looking at this skull of yours and guessing that they throw this stuff in there, but not everyone.
It doesn't
agree with everyone.
It also doesn't fix the issue.
But not only that, it can be literally like an allergic reaction that your brain just ignites something you never knew you had in you, which can be suicidal tendencies, which can be all those insecurities you talk about.
Yep.
So, like I said, it was a journey. And I've seen psychologists. Psychologists are great.
Yep.
They're personal trainers for your brain, which is very good. I love them. I've learned. They've actually gave me a lot of wisdom and a lot of growth. But so you were saying this. He told you something about the third person. What did he say? Or she say?
Well, it was a guy. He was like I said. So initially, kind of the main story where I before I even got to the psychiatrist was I was on a holiday with my mum and our family friends who had grown up with. And if they watch this, they'll know who they are. I've never actually mentioned the names. And it was just my anxiety was at an all-time high, especially because I was by myself. My brother wasn't with me. Typically, it was being me and my brother together with them. So I always have someone to fall back on in case I didn't know
You're close with your brother?
Yeah, we are very close.
Nice.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
But he wasn't there, so it was just me. And so I remember distinctly we were sitting at the beach and the two girls were like next to me and I wanted to engage in conversation, obviously, because that's what people do. But I felt like, and it's if you don't know what it is or how it feels, you can't even describe it, but it was simply like a weight, literally like a weight.
Sitting on you.
On my chest.
Yeah.
And I couldn't like breathe. And so I think I stood up, I walked away, went to my mum and I started like breaking down, crying. I should preface, I'm quite an emotional person.
Okay.
So
hey, we get a lot of ratings if you cry. So just it goes through the roof.
Beautiful.
You could make me cry. I've cried on this one. No, I've cried on this one.
Maybe I'll crack a few tears today.
I may crack a few tears. I can see the eyes watering up. Keep going. They say silence is the best thing for tears. So I'm going to stay quiet.
Okay.
Go on.
Anyway, and so I started breaking down and I just said to my mum, I was like, I need help. And and so that's pretty much when she was like, she realized something was wrong. And so the rest of the trip, I think because I spoke about it to her, it kind of got it off my chest. So that weight kind of lifted and I was able to actually have a conversation because I'd never addressed it before to anyone. Only like close friends who were going through the same thing. So we couldn't actually I couldn't help myself because they couldn't help themselves in that situation either. Anyway, and so we got back home and everything like that, went to the doctor. I had a friend who was going through depression as well at that same time. His doctor prescribed him meds. I was hoping to get the same. I'm glad my doctor didn't prescribe me meds.
You're very lucky, man.
Sent me to a psych. And I saw...
And you're very lucky the psych didn't prescribe you.
100%.
Because both of them can.
Yeah,
a psychologist can't.
Yes.
So
yes,
you
exactly
are very lucky. With me, no. The first time my doctor prescribed me, I was just by myself. I said, no, I don't need medication. I'll just go see a psychologist. And so something happened.
Yeah.
And I went there the second time and I believed, well, I'm here again.
Yeah.
So I said, just put me on something. And
I did.
That was the end of me for fucking 10 years nearly.
Yeah, that's crazy as
From
well.
my 40s. Like, it's crazy. Before that, I'm thinking to myself, just who I thought I was, I had to remember. Now I can remember who I was. Now I know the 20-year-old that I was, the 30-year-old that I was.
Apparently it makes you feel like numb, dull. There's no emotion, really. Happy or sad, eh? Something like that.
It's, you believe you can't be without it now. You
Yeah,
actually
that-
believe
that too.
You actually believe you.
Yep, I know some people.
You believe that pill needs to be a part of your life.
Yeah.
And it's like smoking.
Yeah.
Like anything. But you believe without, like, do you know how hard it is to then believe, like it took me 3 goes, meaning 3 times I took it. Mm-hmm. So I took it, I stopped. Mm-hmm. Something buckled. Like even now, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's going on today with my coffee company.
Yep.
It would tell me that maybe I need to take medication in the past, right? Because I'm thinking, oh, this is too much, all this bad luck, all this fucking tension, and maybe it's me, maybe it's that, maybe it's this, all this stuff that's going on, right?
Yep.
And that's where you go, oh, maybe, I was happier when I took the pill.
Yeah.
But you're not, because when you first take it, well, some people are pretty good. With me, it actually times 10 my emotions, times 10 how I felt.
Yep.
But when I settled, like I said, you believe it. But like, I don't want to tell people not to take it. It's not really, that's not the story.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is, you're very lucky, because you can do with it yourself, and I'll say something further. But yeah, tell me. So you went and saw your psychologist, because I want to add something to it at the end.
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. So I saw my mate who was going.
Psychiatrist, that's right.
Yep. My mate who was taking the
Meds.
pills, the meds, and he was starting to change, and it was very weird, because I was like, he almost seemed more outgoing and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
But then behind
You have a
closed
real
doors-
I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yes. And then he started to be a dick towards me out of the blue. It was almost like a false sense of,
Maybe. Maybe.
Anyway, and so I kind of just clicked it at him, because he kept pushing, just stupid little things,
of course,
looking back on it. But anyway, it was enough to just, I snapped at him.
Yeah.
I was like, don't fucking talk to me again. Anyway, we worked in the same place too.
I've done that many times.
Yeah. Anyway, and so I saw like how that was, affecting him. He's the nicest guy, by the way. Like if he, happens to watch this, you'll probably know who he is too. The nicest guy. And anyway, so I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to deal with that stuff.
Very lucky
I
you
went
saw that.
psychiatrist. It's about 1, 2, 3 sessions in. 4 sessions, I think it was by the 4th.
I still want to know about this third personal thing that you.
Well, he was saying that, he would do this psychiatrist stuff, like ask the questions,
Yeah, of
kind
course,
of get more information, see how you view yourself, if there's any,
harming tendencies or anything like that as well.
things like that,
All
obviously. But how do you, the main issue with the social anxiety is like, how do I view myself? Is there a reason why I don't have the, the confidence to be able to just be myself and say what I want to say? And he was like, do you view yourself from like a third person perspective? And he said like a bird's eye view. And that didn't really click with me at the time.
I feel like I'm getting a session here, but keep going.
It was pretty crazy. Anyway, it didn't click with me at the time, but I thought about it more and more, and it wasn't like a bird's eye view kind of thing, but it was more of like, do I worry about other people's perceptions of me, like how they see me, my physical appearance, how I speak, if I'm using the right words, things like that. Are they going to judge me for it? Couldn't tell you why. Once again, why all this happened and why I think this way. But and the answer was I did. I cared too much about what people thought. And so even to this day, like sometimes I have my moments. No one's perfect. I don't think anything is ever cured or gone away completely. You just learn learn how to manage it. So I've been learning how to manage it for the last 10 years. And I've just gotten better and better at it. I still sometimes go down into a little bit of a dump, but I always realize that it's only temporary. I'm feeling like this for some sort of reason. We've got to figure out what the reason is, address it, and then I'll be able to overcome it. And without a fail, that's what happens every time. So I think addressing the problem, which for me was especially my physical appearance, because girls didn't really show an interest in me. No one really took me seriously when I would try and speak. They would always talk over me. I'd say a joke, no one would laugh. Another boy would say the exact same joke, And then everyone would laugh, and I'm
You
like,
should hang around with Chris.
will he laugh at me or what?
No, everyone likes Chris. It doesn't say much.
Okay.
And they compliment Chris, and Chris is going to make this look amazing. And Chris is going to, what an amazing script, Chris, and what an amazing interview it was, Chris. And what an amazing podcast you're doing, Chris. And Chris is a really good guy. And please let me get Chris a drink.
The brains behind the edits.
Go on.
But yeah, so that's kind of, and I think a lot of it came down to my physical appearance. Anyway, so essentially try to work on myself. I realized that putting myself in the situations that I'm uncomfortable, exposure therapy, is what's going to help me overcome, like, you know.
Exposure therapy, what's that?
It's essentially where, like, I hate social environments, right? Or didn't like them.
So the more you expose yourself
So
to
I would put myself into those environments on purpose.
Yeah.
And it wasn't to, like, fake being me. It was just to be okay with it. Like, just do whatever I felt like. If I didn't feel like talking, I wouldn't really talk. I would talk to whoever I got along with. Things like that. Going out on girls.
That's later.
That's a bit
later.
crazy, doesn't it?
That's later.
Skipped a few steps there.
Hey, listen, man. Let's just listen. You're Greek. Stop being articulate.
Yeah.
So much. All right. You can throw some slurs in. You can fucking talk backwards.
All right.
You can say grillish.
All right.
You know, whatever you want, mate. Because I try to be articulate too, but it doesn't always fucking work.
Yeah.
Even when I listen back, I think it's such a comedy that some of the things I say. I said, man, it's got to work for me somehow. So, like I said, yeah. So, besides getting on top of girls, going out with girls, or
Going out with girls.
yeah.
Being in that one-on-one situations that I wasn't really good at, and just doing it realistically. And then that's when I started to realize, like I said, physical appearance. I wanted to get into the gym. I thought, like, being ribbed, having some muscles was pretty cool.
You've done a pretty good job.
Thank you. And so I started to train, and I just kind of went head first into it. I really like mathematics and science, and so I would research about whatever it was. I think I've got ADHD, ADD, self-diagnosed obviously, but pretty strong idea. Anyway, so when I like something, I go, like, I obsess over it.
Yeah.
Where it kind of takes away from other parts of my life. So I was at uni at that time too. So I was going to uni, and I was training. I was trying to, you know, get big, focus on my food, learn more things about training, nutrition. I would listen to podcasts, everything.
You're also, just from what I understand.
Yes.
So were you an obedient kind of kid? You wanted to be like, firstly, you seemed like you were intelligent because you went to university, I'm assuming.
Thanks.
Doesn't really, but maybe they're not all intelligent because they all drop out in the end.
Yeah.
It seems like you fought obedience as well. Were you obedient kind of guy? You were trying to play by the rules, trying to make everyone happy, parents happy, good marks, what people saw as a law-abiding citizen and a good educated citizen, and doing university and becoming an engineer because science didn't have money in it. Your teacher said there's no money in it, liking mathematics. But then again, like you said, all that stuff was like that third person looking at themselves. But it seems like bodybuilding was the bit that brought you weren't the third person looking at that. That's who you were.
Yeah.
You wanted to fix something about you, and it was about, and which bodybuilding does, you know, which was to present yourself in a way that allowed you then to go in and find your confidence to bring that confidence out. Is that right in saying that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. What I mean by that is, like, sometimes people, you know, when we talk about bodybuilding, first and foremost, bodybuilding is a lot of vanity.
It can.
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
sure.
I mean, it's okay. My dad dripped in vanity.
Yeah, 100%.
My dad thought he was the best looking guy in the world.
Yeah.
He thought he mowed the lawns the best.
Yeah.
He was the best worker.
Such a Greek thing,
Best council worker.
Yeah.
He even took up lawn bowls when he retired. He thought he was the best lawn bowler, even though they didn't buy it, they gave him the balls. And they even put him on the bus and took him on competitive routes. He thought he was the best husband in the world.
Yeah.
He thought he was the best of everything, you know, dressed the best. But the funniest thing was, he'd always go like, in Greek, he'd probably say, Maris αυτό το πρόγραμμα for us. He'd compliment you. He would just, if he could find something on you, because he thought he was the best, he'd want to know, I want to find the best in you.
Yeah.
Right? But I find with bodybuilding, for me, I did do it for the girls, but I did do it for the mirror.
Yeah.
And I did do it to be better than other guys.
Yeah.
And I did do it to man up and to show up. I did do it to be sexy. I did do it to be strong. I did do everything from fucking waxing to dieting to shedding for summer to turning up at my wedding fucking in pristine shape. I mean, I never competed, but my life was a competition. I knew 16 weeks out something was happening. I knew 12 weeks out what was happening. I knew when I was going to Europe. I knew I needed to fucking the Greek islands and my Speedos. I'm going to have to fucking be ripped and have teardrops on my fucking legs. I knew that beforehand. Do you know what I mean? Even though some of my friends, when I was 24, and my cousin, who's got the same name as me because he was my biggest threat and my biggest competitor. Like, because he looked amazing. And same age too.
Same age. Yeah.
I couldn't get off the pedal. The only thing is he could eat ice cream and still look good. I couldn't, right? That pissed me off. Some people can get away with the ice cream, He loved his ice cream and Madeira cake. Fucking hell, he'd smash his Madeira cake and he'd smash his ice cream and I couldn't do that. But the thing was, that was my competition. And the funny thing is, it's still today. And I'll be honest with you, it's my ace. Because I'm not trying to say about... Because I'm 56. I think I look all right for 56. 100%. I mean, my hair's not coloured. It's not. I've got a few greys.
That's going to come with the age.
No, but what I mean is the bodybuilding from that age till now is why the vanity and the strength and the ego and everything. It's the only thing I got. It's the only thing I got to be. Not to say I want to be better than Chris. But. I'm not trying to be smarter than Chris. I'm not trying to be a better person than Chris. I'm not 100%. Trying to put down Chris. I'm not even trying to compete with you. You're in a different realm. But what I'm saying is, let me see you and everyone at 56 because that's the competition. 100%. And even when I see past great bodybuilders, I think, mate, then you had it, but you just didn't hold on. I fucking held on, man. Like my 50th. This was when I did my first cycle. 49 years old. I said, you know what? Time for a cycle. And I came in 90 kilos ripped. I mean, I'm 89 now, nothing like it, but nothing like that. But at 90, and no coach, by the way, and abused it in the end. You know, fucking noodles in the shoulders, noodles in the mouth. Even the guy said, do you know how to take this? I go, just tell me what to do there. I'll do it.
Figure it out,
I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like sitting there with needles, working out the syringe. Oh, fuck, it was hilarious. You know, But that's what bodybuilding does, man. No one understands that. We try to play it down, but it's to pick up the chicks. And the girls like to look nice. And they like to have a good booty. They like the nice 100%. Legs. But it does give us that confidence that we lack. If we don't have it, if I don't have bodybuilding, I'll be honest, I'm fucked. I can't do business deals without bodybuilding. I can't have sex without bodybuilding. I can't make money without bodybuilding. And I can't have sad moments without fucking bodybuilding. I can't do it. If I don't have that as my foundation, I'm fucked.
It's because it makes you feel good. So it affects those other areas in your life.
Everything.
I don't know what person said this, but you look good, you feel good, you train good, for example. But it's not even just training good. It's performing well in kind of every aspect. That's why,
I've heard it all my life. I'm not, like I said, it's not that, but many times, you probably notice it yourself, when you walk into a place, and you forget about your gym gear. Let's say you're just wearing a shirt, nice jeans, and you walk in and you're at a reception, and let's say you're meeting someone for a meeting. It seems like without you bringing it up, they're going to talk about training.
Every time.
And even when you're out to dinner with strangers and everyone goes, you're eating, someone goes, and sometimes when you sit there eating, someone goes, I should start eating healthy again. It's only because you're there. You understand what I mean?
100%, man.
Or they go, I should get back in the gym. You have not said nothing.
Like, how much protein should I eat if I want to start bulking up?
And you go let's have a serious conversation. We're at the steakhouse. You know, you're somewhere out somewhere, or you're at the bar or whatever, and someone goes, and like I said, you'll be standing there, and they'll go, you'll be talking, and they'll go, I think I should start training again.
Yes.
It's because of your presence.
It does happen.
It's always about 100%. Your presence. And I've noticed that some people go, I really like that shirt on you. Your arms look good. You know, oh, wow. Like I remember once I think I ripped up too much. One of our office workers, she goes, Steve, stop ripping. stop ripping up so much, you're losing your ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you couldn't say that in an office environment to a girl, or else we'll be gone.
God, yeah.
But I mean, I said, am I? And I was, because I was actually on the antidepressants and I lost so much weight that it just fucking, I lost so much weight.
Heaps.
But then when I started then at one stage I put it on too much.
Yeah.
But it is about that. That's what it's about, bodybuilding. I think it's home.
Yeah.
For some of us anyway.
No,
not for
100%.
everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For you, it seems like it's home. That's what I mean. I think when you found it, I think you found you.
Yeah, because I should have mentioned as well, I guess, like when I said I wasn't happy with my physical appearance, that's why I started training. A few things went through my head before I went from not happy, gonna go train, obviously. The main one was I want to get chicks.
Yeah.
I want to smash, you know. Yeah. I'm a teenage kid, you know.
And those questions you ask, let me tell you, every guy, I'm sure Chris could agree too, maybe not, but talking to the girls has always been hard. Meaning not hard.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not as hard now, because now you can take rejection.
Yeah, yeah, it's different now.
You want rejection
100%.
because it gives you another scrape to your shield.
Yeah, yeah.
Then your shield looks like it's battered.
That's exactly
looks like
right.
you're fighting.
Yes.
But at your age, and at the age you were, and myself too, that was where, and also, when we're like, all that stuff, it's unfortunate the girls might be listening to this. It's, look, being maybe Greek boys and all guys, we were told to respect women. Very
100%.
Intercourse is very scary.
Yeah.
We didn't take it lightly, or else we probably would have been in trouble earlier in life, which some people have been.
Yep.
But the thing was, it was tough to try to form a conversation and learn that skill.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. Especially because I didn't have like those conversation skills.
Yeah.
So, like I said, before going from I'm unhappy to like going and training, I said to myself, I'm gonna show those girls who turned me down. I'm gonna watch me.
Yeah, we all do that. Yeah.
In my head, I said that. Sounds cringe saying it out loud, but that's exactly, I wanted to make myself feel better. And there's nothing wrong with that. Fair play to them rejecting me. I just wasn't good looking back then.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm still not. Who knows? I'm a little bit better.
Yeah. No, you are. No, look,
Anyway.
I tell people that maybe I might not have been blessed with the best noggin, but I'm going to come in the best shape possible.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong
and I'll
with that.
take on everyone there.
100%.
I can't take on you with your face. There's very handsome guys and blue eyes and all that. But the only person I can take you on is physically, and I'll go for it. And that's what you're doing, which makes everything else look handsome. So that's what you're
100%.
doing. So you're just building good foundations. Go on.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's kind of where that's where the mind went, and so I went to go train, and then so that kind of developed into I'll show everyone who didn't want me, or even people, even just guys who just didn't really want to converse with me because they thought I was boring or whatever the heck, because I looked like a nerd.
What about the ones that chose you last for the soccer team? Like, I don't know that it just brings.
I've never sport too.
I've never been brought this up, but I was always the last one fucking chosen.
So was I.
When you sit there
100%.
and they go, "All right, guys,
You're
Brian, and Malcolm, pick your team," and you sit there and you go, "Please pick me. I'm going to be embarrassed if I'm last. I'm going to be embarrassed if I'm last."
Yeah.
And fuck, I'm last again. I was always chosen last.
Yeah, same as me. Yeah,
that fucking ate me alive.
It did.
But
that's probably what lit the fire under my eyes.
Yes,
but I was good at sports too. These guys aren't.
Well, I didn't know. I thought I was good, but because you get chosen last, you don't think you're good.
It was more so the kids, the cool kids picking the other cool kids. Before you.
Not even that. The wankers.
Yeah, essentially now that's what they are, right?
Yeah.
But and then so I just got stuck into training, and I started seeing some changes, and I started liking them, and I started feeling better about myself. I started at 60 kilos. I was very skinny. Looked malnutritioned. Prisoner
I saw some of the shots.
Yeah.
You look like Z.
Mate, what's Z?
That Aussie guy, unfortunately, he's passed away. He's got his chest, bro.
Ziz, yeah.
You look a bit like Ziz.
I looked like him when I started. Yeah, I was
you look like
skinny,
Ziz.
Man, very skinny. Actually, Ziz kind of didn't get me into it, but as I was like, a year or two into training, me and my mate started to get into Ziz, and he had passed away by that point. We started watching his videos, everything like that.
Everyone was into Ziz.
Anyway.
I didn't even know who he was till I got this podcast going.
Really?
Yeah. No, a friend of mine told me in America.
Yeah.
Friend in America says you should get his brother in chest bra.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I've asked him, but
Doesn't want it.
No, he's not. No. We're just we're in negotiations, let's just say. But no, he seems like a good guy.
Yeah, he's a pretty chill guy.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah. He's cool. I think he's going to be competing soon
Yes, he is.
in men's physique. So he looks amazing.
He does.
And I like his attitude, man. I like anyone. If you are you,
Well,
that's all I care about. I don't care what ego or what. No, what I'm saying, if you are you,
Yeah.
I think that's unreal. Like my dad was
That's
my
exactly
dad.
right.
I thought to myself, people would kind of question him, and I said, "You're the one that's depressed. He doesn't even question you.
Yeah.
He just gives a fuck about himself.
Yeah.
which is important." But so yeah, you did look a little bit like Ziz or whatever it was. Yeah, go on. So then you're 60 kilos. Very
Yeah, that's
malnutrition.
I started training. And that's pretty much, that's how it started, and I just kept going with it because I enjoyed it. This was probably around 18 years old as I finished school, and then I was going into electrical engineering at university, and so that's what I thought I wanted to do. Got into university. It was very hard, even though I was good at science and maths. It was and physics too. It was next level stuff. But I was going up against, boys who have been playing with electrical components for years since they were young. So they already understood circuit boards and transistors, everything. So I didn't really get that stuff. I was learning as I was going, and it was very fast paced. So as university went on, I was, I think, second year in, I took a bit of time off as well to work full time, make a little bit of money. Went back to uni, tried one more semester. I was like, and that's that time when I said I was sitting in the shower one day. I was studying all day for this exam, and I was like, it just did not make sense.
How good is the shower? The
shower thoughts are amazing.
Shower thoughts, you can actually fix world poverty.
Oh man, you can do anything in your head in the shower.
Fucking have that shower head going over the top of you, walking around in life.
100%.
You solve all problems.
100%. Nice and warm. I was sitting on the ground,
Yeah, I've done that.
And so I had the thought where, like, I've realized at this point, however far, I think it was about 4 years into training, I wanted to help people. I always knew I wanted to help people, I told you. I just wasn't sure how I was going to do it. Obviously, going through, with mental health, all that stuff, I wanted to help people kind of get out of that rut that they might be in. So that's when I had the idea of coaching. Now, I didn't look like I could be a coach back then, so I knew some work had to be done to have a little bit of authority, with my look and everything. But that's kind of where my mind was set. And so I didn't even have much of a chat with my parents. I just kind of told them, I'm like, look, I'm not happy doing this. I realized, I vowed to myself as well, I'm going to do something that makes me happy, and I'm just going to go head first into it, and figure it out. I'll make something of it, And obviously, Greek parents and everything like that.
What's this bodybuilding? What's this bodybuilding?
You can't do coaching as a full-time job, all that stuff. And I'm seeing people doing it.
Do it as a part-time job.
Do it as a part-time thing.
Casual.
I was like,
do 5 jobs.
Because I can't do that. I can't, if I'm not all in, then I'm all out, So that's where I just said to myself, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it. Dropped out of uni. Told them I'm going to drop out of uni. Went to TAFE. Did the certificate so I could become a PT. COVID hit, all that kind of stuff. Started training people out of my mum's garage. Bought some equipment with the mats and everything like that. Just the basic stuff. You could do a million things with it. And started training, getting some people in, a little bit of experience. Friends, family, all that kind of stuff. And when the first round of COVID finished, that's when I told you I got that sales job.
Yes.
I was like, I'm going to go give this a crack. Yeah.
No, guys, sales job. What were we selling?
It was a human resources system, but like a third party.
Yep.
Instead of having an in-house human resources, it's this place that we're working at. Anyway, so didn't know much about human resources, so obviously trying to sell this was not the best idea. But my mate got me into the job, helped me get it. So I gave it a crack. I thought sales would be good for me to learn, get myself, exposure therapy.
So,
And so I lasted 3 weeks before they cut me and a few of the others off.
Yeah.
And so that was when I said to myself, fuck it, I'm just going to go head first into this coaching thing. I'm going to figure it out. I've explored all the other options that I could possibly do prior to this.
Yeah.
Wasn't happy doing them. I'm just going to go fucking do it. So I did. And so I did around the second time, the second bout of COVID.
Yeah.
It was then. I started, COVID hit again. We had a bit of a break. Then we came back and just went fucking head first into it.
Yeah, no, it was kind of like an introduction to also wanting to get that exposure or that training and talking to people before you entered the gyms. Is that right?
That was pretty much I think that was the idea behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the idea.
Hey, I'm Jamie from Pawtion.
And I'm Steve, Muscle Talks Podcast.
And we heard that you guys are very into clean eating for yourselves, so we figured we'd educate you a bit about clean eating for your dogs. That's why Pawtion has decided to partner with Muscle Talks and give you promo code MuscleTalks25 for 25% off your first order at pawtion.com.au. That's pawtion.com.au.
And if you continue ordering through Pawtion, please use Muscle Talks 10, and that gets you with continued orders 10% off. We're quite excited to be part of Pawtion. I've got a few dogs running around us just as I talk now. So please support not only good eating for ourselves, but I'm sure you want to promote good eating for your loved one, your pet, your dog. So go to pawtion.com.au and use for your first order Muscle Talks 25 to get 25% off your first order, and then continued orders Muscle Talks 10.
Better we do without the script, but let's go through a little bit. Here's a pin post on IG.
Yep.
Season B 2023.
Yep.
Recap. Only time will tell when I reach my goal.
Mm-hmm.
This is you, your first pin. You're competing. You got Sam Pearson in the background taking photos, right?
Yeah, Sam Pearson. Yeah.
But I won't stop until the job is done.
Yeah.
To be continued. Road to pro. What does that all mean? And that yeah, tell us about that moment. That was 2023, I think you were competing, correct?
Probably, I think, it was. It was 2023.
Yeah, it's your pin post.
Yes. So I think it comes back to that mentality of when I said to myself, I'm going to go all in on this coaching and bodybuilding and everything that I love and enjoy. I've swore to myself that I'm not going to give up. Because like I mentioned in the past, I would get bored of things quickly. My dad would always say, like, you do well at it and then you get bored of it because you probably do a little bit too well at it, sports and things like that. So I said to myself, even when this starts to get a little bit hard or boring, if you will, I'm just going to keep going. And so I've said that I want to be a pro, so I'll eventually be a pro.
Did you always want to compete before you wanted to help people? Did you think about competing?
No, I wanted to help people first.
First, okay.
Yes.
So you kind of feel like you're doing that, but you're also feeling like to keep helping people, maybe you need to step up to the mark
100%,
as well.
Because at least that way as well, I can get my name out there a bit more and help
a little bit more edification as well.
I want people to look up to me.
Yeah.
Not in like a vain way, but in a way of, like I said,
some cred.
I've been through, a bit of a harder life than some people. Haven't really been born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I've had to work to be in the position that I'm at. Pretty hard. I know there's a lot of people that got harder lives out there, but at least it gives them something to look towards, look forward to.
Did Sam Pearson coach you?
Yeah, Sam Pearce. Yeah, he coached me, yeah.
What's he like?
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy?
He's a really nice guy.
Yeah. I've reached out to him to come on, and we were talking, and then it went quiet. But I don't think quiet because I think he's just busy.
He's busy.
Yeah, I was going to say he's busy. But I wanted to get on because he's quite raw and open on his posts.
Yeah.
He explains it quite well.
Yeah, he was actually kind of so I've had my first two coaches. One was...
he looks like a monster.
Oh, he's massive.
Yeah.
100%. My first coach was Graydon Leong, GMF team. And then the second one was Sam. And now I've got another one, Mitch. And all these people I've always kind of shifted more towards people who I can learn from, not just with bodybuilding and stuff, but more like a mentor in life and business too. So that's what all those three people have been to me as well.
So in 2022, you competed?
Yes, I coached myself for that.
You coached yourself for that?
Yep.
And then 2023?
Yep, that was with Sam.
What about the other person you mentioned?
No, I didn't compete with Graydon, no. I was also natural at that point.
Which one?
Graydon, which was years ago. This is like almost, 7 years ago.
So, you competed 7 years ago?
No, I didn't.
But
I was going to.
You were going to, but you naturally got yourself into position to possibly compete.
Yeah. I realized at that point, because Graydon only deals with natural competitors, and I needed to learn more of the side of, PEDs and things, so I needed to go to someone new who had a bit more knowledge, and that's where I went to Sam.
He's got a lot of knowledge? I'm assuming he does. From
Yeah. Even more so now, because he's working with John Jewett and stuff like that too. So, but yes, I didn't compete with Graydon. I competed with, I coached myself for the first one.
How was that?
That was so rough. I do not recommend that.
Really?
To anyone.
What was rough about it? That's what I was going to ask you. To 2020, what was rough about it?
God, there was a lot of, without getting too much into it, issues with my relationship at the time with who I was with. Not saying it was her fault or anyone's fault, whatever. That just happens, right? Issues with my relationship then, financially down the drain a little bit.
You strained yourself.
It was tough, and I can't even begin to describe. It was tough, man. It was tough. But I said to myself, I
hear always the first few comps are tough.
100%. 100%.
On all aspects,
it was more so just
yeah.
dealing with all that stuff on the exterior that I couldn't even do. I did still do my best when it came to cardio and training and food and everything like that.
Well, you got on stage.
I got on stage. I wasn't obviously the best, but it was my first show too. You're always going to have some sort of baseline.
Nervous?
I was very nervous.
Okay,
I had
social anxiety. You'd be very nervous.
100%.
You had no one in your corner.
No one to really help me out. I was doing my own like peak for it and stuff like that, which I ended up being flat. And
where'd you get the information from? Or you just guessed it?
J3 University. No, I was doing research. I was studying.
Okay, for competition?
Yeah, for competitions and to learn more about coaching too.
Okay, go on, yeah.
So I just did it for the experience. To like do it to myself first before I do it with someone else and take someone else through.
It's probably a good move.
Yeah. At least that way I can learn, especially with the mental side of things. Like if they have to deal with that, like I should have pulled out of the prep. I should have. But I said to myself, I'm just going to go through with it and figure it out. And that's what I did. And I'm happy that I got on stage. Sorry.
Was it a great day?
Which, the prep?
Competition day.
Amazing. Loved it.
Yeah.
I broke down crying afterwards because I couldn't believe that I had just gone through what I've been through and just made it on stage and stuff. And I still took a third in novice, which I was happy with.
I noticed that.
And for coaching myself, my first competition, I was very happy with that. And so, yeah, man. And ever since that point, I got back on with Sam and then we did a competition together and here we are now. So,
when did you decide to take PEDs? And was that a big move?
I knew where I wanted to be in terms of like competitive. I couldn't be natural. I didn't have the genetics to be able to do it naturally, like some like outliers are. But I wanted to prove to myself that I could stick to, a regimen, training, eating, everything, working at the same time naturally before I could go and take gear. So, and I started taking gear when I first spoke with Sam, which was
so the comp you
4 years ago.
The comp you did on your own. You already knew Sam.
I was working with Sam for I think the year before that.
Okay, yeah.
It was 2021, start of 2021. I was working with Sam.
Yep.
And then towards the end of that year, we were going to do a prep for 2022 season A. And I was still going. That's kind of when the issues with my partner then were arising, and so I just mentally was not there. I checked out completely. I stopped with Sam for a bit and just focused on my income and stuff like that, trying to stay afloat.
We can't afford trainers either, man. Like all that stuff, it's everything. Trainers, gear, food.
It can get expensive.
The whole thing's expensive. Registrations.
Yeah, it amounts. It comes up.
I mean, you guys shave a lot. We used to wax. We wax.
No,
but what I mean is, maintaining your look.
Yeah, 100%.
Just everything, gym memberships, food, the right food, the amount of food.
It's an expensive lifestyle.
It's an expensive lifestyle. So what age were you were you 2021 is when you first took PEDs?
Yes, start of 2021.
2021. So you've done everything.
4
You
years,
focused into your training. You're training hard. You built a foundation in place. You thought, I might go and compete, but let's see what it's like. with gear and have a look at it.
Yeah.
Was it astounding after that when you first took your first cycle?
Yeah, I blew up like a balloon. I was just eating everything in sight.
Yeah.
Like everyone does this, they make the same mistake. But I was also on my first proper like cycle during the second bout of COVID, which is when I was just training in my garage gym. And so all we would do, me and the boys, we were just training and eating and sleeping for like the whole of COVID.
Wow,
it was amazing.
You were a bit like an Olympian.
It was beautiful, man. I loved it. So I grew a fair bit, but a lot of it was water and fat. Then we did a proper cart and stuff like that. And then I was going to go into my first show. I pulled out of that because of the stuff I was going through. Then I decided, you know what, I don't have money to really do coaching, to have a coach. So I'm just going to do it myself anyway, learn through it, get the experience a little bit under my belt, and understand the process of it. And that's what I did. So got that out the way, like we said. Yeah, and then that's when I got back with Sam not too long after that into, 2023. And then we decided, obviously, I want a better package this time around. I want to do it properly, have someone overlooking and guiding me through it. And so that's what we did. And so we went through that. We did my bulking phase, cutting phase into prep, and then got second in Classic Open, and third in the Heavyweights Open.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I was happy with. I want one more now, obviously, but like slowly getting better and better.
How did your family feel taking steroids?
I'm not sure if my mum knows, but now she does. But she's pretty aware. She has to keep it in.
Do you live with your mum?
No, I live with my girlfriend now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I was going to say, your mum finds him somewhere.
Nah, she does make remarks. She's,
She does.
She's a little bit, Greek mum. So I haven't told her straight up.
Why can't we tell him even at 27?
No one disappoint her, but she knows. Love your mum, love your dad. But my dad found out.
What did he say?
It was sitting on my bed. So I got an order of needles and stuff, and they were sitting on my bed, and I wasn't ready for them to be back home so early, and I had it open, sitting on my bed while I was doing something on my computer. Anyway, my dad, I hear the front door unlock, and I'm like, fuck, shit, all right, what am I going to do? And it was sitting right there. I'm like, I can't really put it anywhere, so I just closed the lids, the flaps. I was like, he's not going to look in there. He never does. He never goes and looks at my deliveries. And I was sitting at my desk typing whatever I was doing. He walks in. He's like, hey, mate. Oh, what's that? A delivery? Goes up to it, opens it up. He's like, George, what's this? Mate, I was like, I couldn't believe it. I told him, because I've mentioned to him in the past that I'm probably going to have to do it and stuff. And I was like, sorry, Dad. He's like, I thought we were going to have a discussion about this. I'm like, we could talk about it tonight.
It's funny. My kids always tell me when it's too late.
Yeah.
I said, why did you tell me? And the funny thing, they go, it's because you're going to react. I said, how about you give me a chance to react? Because what happens I said, what happens if you get it wrong? What happens if I don't react?
That's exactly right.
But tell me, I guess one of the reasons I didn't take the gear, it was just the gear. That's what we called it, right?
Yeah, the gear, yeah.
The gear, not PEDs, nothing, just the gear.
More formal these days, PEDs.
Yeah, no, we just say the gear. It was the gear, right?
Yeah.
And it was just simple gear too, mate. It was just Decker and Strong and all that kind of stuff, But I was concerned about my fertility. Do you guys worry about that at all? Does no one worry about that, or it doesn't affect it? Am I the only one that's so naive that believes steroids doesn't affect your fertility? But back then, that's what we were all concerned about. Because there are some. I'm not right, because there are bodybuilders what's his name that just won Olympia? No, Chris Bumstead, and who just won Arnold's now? What's his name?
The Arnolds.
The Opens.
Derek Lunsford.
Derek Lunsford. He just had a child too.
Yes, he did.
So obviously I'm wrong that the cycle doesn't stop fertility, but does it? Or does anyone, or is anyone concerned about that, or you're not concerned about it? Or was I the only one concerned about it?
I was concerned.
We were concerned back then. A lot of us all stayed natural.
Yeah.
For the reason being is we didn't see bodybuilding. Well, pro cards weren't handed out like lollies back then.
Yeah, it's
and the guys that were big, they were fucking big. It was Terry Mitsos's and people like that. Like they had their own gyms and John Torelli's and like they were on the magazines. Like what they were doing was like it was hard enough for them to do it.
Yeah,
but we just saw ours was chicks and hobbies.
Yeah,
and the beach.
I think
Gold Coast.
Yeah, it still kind of is that because it's very rampant in like just normal people who are just not even competing. You know, it's so normalized. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying.
So normalized.
So normal. It is. I mean, it is normalized, and everyone talks about it.
Yeah,
every George is talking about it now.
Yeah.
But having said this, aren't you guys concerned about that?
I was. But I've heard from multiple sources where some people have, you know, I'm talking like high level, have had children at that top level at the peak of their cycles going into a prep, you know. And it's like, you wouldn't think so. And there's some epigenetics that play, you know, have a role to play in that, and whether it's actually good for the baby and stuff. You don't really know, but sometimes if it's the right time, it's the right time.
Baby comes out looking like a staffy.
Absolutely jacked.
Jacked.
Yeah, jacked daughter. Because most bodybuilders have daughters for whatever reason that is.
Yeah, that's true. My one was first daughter.
There we go.
Then I have second son.
Yeah.
And I got a staffy.
Yeah.
And a poodle. By the way, I got a poodle too.
I got 3 cats. That's my kids.
Mate, I think you've lost it.
Yeah.
It was going good until the cat, mate. Go on.
Cut them off.
Get rid of the cats, mate. You got to get a staffy.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to get another dog.
Everyone's trying to get away with a French poodle, but French bulldog. But mate, that's just a fancy. That's a fancy toy dog.
I'd love a husky.
I had a husky.
Yeah, but I know they're so loud. Sometimes.
No, they don't bark.
They howl.
But
yeah, God.
But I had a husky.
Yeah.
I had a husky. His name was Joshua.
Yeah.
Right? He was black and white.
Yeah.
He was black, and he had a Batman mask. Mm-hmm. Right, he had a Batman mask.
Yeah, the fur.
And the funniest was, I'll tell you how funny it was. I just said I want to get a husky, and then I researched the husky. You know, like what is it? The yellow pages.
Yeah.
And I found some Husky Federation. I rang this guy. He was an older guy. I don't even know if he's alive today.
Yeah.
Older guy. But I mean, he was probably my age when I was inquiring because I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
And I said, and he said to me one day, he goes, you seem like a nice guy over the phone. He goes, if you hang on, there's a litter coming from this family that has really good dogs and you'll get one. And back then, to get one with papers was about $1,500.
Right.
And he goes, you'll get it. Yeah, it was $1,500 was expensive back then. It's probably $3,000 now.
Yeah.
And he goes, but if you hang on, these people, they're not into the money. Probably can get one for $700.
Yeah.
I said, all right, I'll hang on. And it had a litter. He goes, come and see the litter. And I did. I went out, and this was the oldest couple I've ever seen in my life. They're old. Hey,
really?
Where you going? Come and see our dogs. And there was all kennels.
Yeah.
And in there was Huskies, and they were champions.
Yeah.
And this guy goes, buy one, but let me show your dog off. He wanted to put it in shows.
Right.
And I said, all right, okay, I guess. No problem, man. If you want to put it in shows, put it in shows. The funny thing was I used to have a Valiant.
Yep.
Like a pacer.
Yep.
And I used to go to the shows with my dog.
Yeah.
And we used to rock up with a Valiant, right?
Yeah.
And everyone turned up with these station wagons with kennels in the back of them, or trailer kennels. And everyone used to put out blankets, little tea parties.
No way.
All this stuff, right?
Yeah.
I used to rock up with the Valiant, no joke. I used to park somewhere near a tree. I'd comb my dog and I'd throw the hair in the air. And there's hair going everywhere. And they think, who's this bloke, man? This wog.
Yeah.
Fucking just combing my dog. Like, fuck, his hair.
Getting it ready.
Throwing hair. Mate, a husky, when it sheds, mate, it could cover a mountain.
Oh, 100%.
So I threw, my hair was flying everywhere. And they're looking at me like,
I'd do the same thing.
that's disgusting. This
it's
guy's
the
like,
open,
no, but I'm just, everyone's doing it nicely. They've got vacuum, they've got hair dryers. So anyway, and the funny thing was, he took my dog in the show, and my dog was the worst showman. The worst showman. And when their dogs walk around, they look at the dog.
Yep.
And they got to feel its muscle, even feel its nuts, everything, right?
Yep.
And my dog was like, what the heck's going on here? You know, he was freaking out. But my dog had such good genetics, it was winning.
No way.
It was just winning shows. He had this chest on him, man. And
That's pretty
he had
awesome.
this small waistline. He looked like a bodybuilder, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Small little waistline and big chest on him. Looked like Batman.
That's really
right?
awesome, mate.
Yeah. But the thing was, sometimes I used to go get on a skateboard and I'd go take him for a run.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I don't know how many kilometers I got up to. I used to fucking pull him back. I go, I'm going to kill myself.
Scary, man.
But when they start running,
Yeah.
mate, the pace they
It's
put
awesome,
on,
though.
they
It'd be
are
fun to
awesome.
do.
But they are. He was a top dog. He was a top dog. Top dog. But what I got right now is pretty cool too. But like I said, I got this. I got Roxy. She's a staffy.
Yeah.
And I got Tipsy.
Yeah.
Who's my poodle.
Oh, okay, you got a poodle.
Poodle, yeah, but
Beautiful,
big one,
man.
big poodle, right?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
But my one looks Jamaican.
Okay.
Right? Because it's got
That's right.
dreadlocks. That's
That's-
Chris has seen it. She's got dreadlocks on her.
Cool poodle, though.
She's a cool poodle, man. She's a cool poodle, right?
appropriate,
I even
yes.
did a mohawk on her.
Oh, my
when I took
God.
it, I said, mate, can you just make sure the top of
No
her
way.
has a mohawk? Yeah. Against all poodle rules, I am. But the best thing about my dogs is I can take them off. They're off the leash and I go for walks with
Lucky.
them. And the two girls, they've never, ever, ever fought.
That's good.
They don't fight.
Yeah.
They don't touch each other's food.
That's good,
And
though.
even if they
That's good.
do, they give each other a moment.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the Staffy's the big sister. The Staffy's the big sister, but they're fucking cool. But yeah, where did we go with this one? We're talking about
Fertility.
fertility. Yes.
Yes. Well, yeah. So I was how did we get to that?
Fertility. What, you want to have a husky as a girlfriend or something?
Two poodles.
All right. So
Was I worried? Yeah, I was a little bit. I was a
Worried.
little bit.
did you freeze your sperm?
No, I haven't yet.
Haven't yet.
I haven't
Okay.
yet.
Are you going to do it?
I probably will just.
Do you want me to give you a magazine?
Yeah,
or anything?
please. If you, I got 5 minutes or
Chris, can you get out the sample cups for him? And we'll just send you
just
to
give me the
local-
coffee cup.
Actually, there you go, brother.
Beautiful.
You're ready to go.
I'm gonna keep this for after.
You take it for after, man,
right.
because we do sperm donations here, and we hold it for you. We freeze it in his fridge here out there. His mum doesn't touch it. No one touches it. Everything's fine. She already knows what half the dozen is because we want to sell it back to you
Oh, beautiful.
for big money.
Okay. All
So,
right.
so when you come crying to me that you can't have a child, mate, like
I want to come raid your fridge of egg cartons.
like $250,000, mate, for your
beautiful.
sperm, and then me and Chris, we've already.
Oh, you may as well
racked up
keep
a
it
lot
or
of
something. If you charge me that much,
No, you'll want it. You'll want it. You'll want
right.
it. You'll want it.
All right. Well, I'll decide.
You'll want it.
I'll get it done.
You'll want
this,
it.
and
You'll
then-
want it. You'll want it because we know you're a sensitive type. So we know.
My baby.
That's why we always talk about sexual anxiety at the beginning. Me and Chris is already writing
down,
notes
you
down.
know.
Right, get his sperm count. Do this. We can take money laundering. Threatening. All that stuff.
Use it against me.
Yeah, we're going to use everything against you just before we do this podcast. That's how we make our money.
Perfect.
That's why we stay profitable.
That's good. I think that's a great business strategy.
Yeah, we do. We go, hey, remember what you said about this? Look how Chris edited it now. And this is about your mum. And this is what you do.
That's crazy if that happens.
It's about your girlfriend. Look what you just said. That's $100,000 for us to fix that. Oh, all right, mate. Here you go. Chris, I think we've
Might
made
as well keep the
mistakes.
video up there, man. It's not getting paid.
All right, so because I know Cooper said he froze his nuts.
Yes. It does. People do it. Yeah, I've got to do it for sure. But I'm not. Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, there's some bodybuilders out there right now, like Ian Valliere, who's been bodybuilding for almost like 15 years straight, and he's trying to have a kid. And there's things that you can do to help like increase your sperm count again, which is like HMG, HCG, Proviron, a few other things too. So it may take a little bit to reboot and stuff, but this is why you just got to do things smart. Not be an idiot.
I guess it's also to do with bloods, to getting your bloods done, testosterone checks.
100%.
How funny is the doctors are when you ask them to do your sperm count and they don't even tick all the boxes for you?
Oh, they don't like it. Yeah.
How come they don't like it? Even when you say estrogen to them and they say, what do you want to do that for? And all this stuff.
Yeah, they're bloody annoying. Because
Where it's already a blood test, it's your bloods.
Yeah.
You can actually not have to pay for it. You can get it done and,
Yeah, 100%.
get the whole list done by your doctor.
Yeah.
And he's like ticking away before you even say anything to you. And he goes, all right, we're done. I go, what have we done?
Yeah.
I had to go back a second time and said, you missed all the stuff I wanted.
This just happened to my girlfriend last week, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even about hormones. It was something else she wanted to get tested. And the doctor was like, oh, you don't need that. But it's like,
What?
But
That's what
her
I mean.
coach told her to get that, and the coach understands digestion and things like this. That's why she asked to get it done, and the doctor refused. And so she was sitting there scratching her head. She took time off work to do that too.
Yeah.
And she had to go in another day on her lunch break and stuff and go figure this stuff. It's just it's a big head fuck, man. It's so dumb.
But why have they got these? I mean, we can get down conspiracies if we want, but why do they have? I mean, why
I know why.
You know why?
Yeah, it's
Why?
because God,
Not to have a healthy society.
no. Well, could be partly, but I think it's APAC. I think that deals with doctors. I can't remember if that's the right acronym. But they don't like those tests being done and stuff because if doctor starts testing for hormones on a person regularly, then they come to the doctor and start asking questions. Are you helping them with, illegal steroid usage or anything like that? And they start trying to get them kicked out as a doctor. That actually happens. That's actually
but the thing is, that shouldn't be. But that's pressure on the doctor, and the doctor,
100%.
But the doctor folds on it.
That's exactly right.
What kind of a doctor are you?
That's exactly right. That's why.
Like you can turn around and say, no, I do not prescribe or encourage,
That's it.
or I don't even want to
They
know.
can't-
But if that's what they want in their bloods, why shouldn't I tick it?
100%, because at the end of the day, I mean, you have meth heads and stuff like that.
But it's
going
got nothing to do.
doctors.
It's got nothing to do even with steroids. If to find out all that, those bloods are
I know.
to find if you need supplementation.
100%. But just because
It's got nothing to do with steroids.
But if
really.
you tell a doctor that you are taking anabolic steroids, they will look at you in a way that's so egregious that they just think that you're like the devil or you're an idiot, which is like fine.
But every medication has steroids. Do you know when you have ligament damage,
Yeah.
and they give you a drug, or if you read it, it's got a steroid in it.
Yeah, well,
do you know creams have got steroids? Do you know
yeah,
when you
different
get
types.
got a rash going,
Yes.
and you're rubbing it? Have you noticed how your bicep gets bigger?
Yes. Yeah. No. Sorry. No, they don't. I haven't noticed that
Use that
actually.
against him, Chris.
Anyway, but there's a reason. The reason for it is they just don't look. They're more willing to help a meth addict than they are an anabolic steroid user who is willing to go and get their health in. Made sure it's taken care of. Because I'm coming to you for help so that you can assist me with making sure that my health is up to standard.
Yeah.
And you're refusing that service to me.
What is the service?
And then you go to a different doctor, and it's the same thing. You have to find a good. I've found finally a good doctor who understands and is willing to help. And he's not telling me what to do. He's saying, "Look, you need to take care of your kidneys, your liver. You need to take care of this, that, X, Y, Z."
But that's a good
pressure.
doctor.
And it is a good doctor. That's why, luckily, I found one now. Can't tell you. Wish I could. I don't know. Maybe I can, but
No, when the cameras are off.
I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so
But which we'll have him on, and then we'll.
He's a
extorting money
really
from
good
him.
guy. He's a
Yeah.
really good guy. He's very knowledgeable. That's what you need.
Well, you've mentioned no names.
what you need.
You've not mentioned your dad's name. You've not mentioned your mum's name. You've not mentioned ex-girlfriend's name, the one that made you cry. You haven't even mentioned your brother's name. Mate, you've mentioned nobody. The only person you've mentioned is Sam Pearson, and that's all we've got. We've got and some other bloke.
I'll
that you
mention my brother Billy.
Billy. Okay, Billy.
Yeah.
All right, what about this other pinned post? This is what I did to get shredded
Oh yeah.
for competition. You actually were having 1,500 calories. Mm-hmm. That's very low, isn't it? Mm-hmm. At 95 kilos you got to for your peak of your prep.
Yep.
You fasted in the morning. You didn't eat until 11 a.m.
Yeah, about that. Yep.
There's no magic. There's no tricks. You just have to put in the work, 0 sugar energy drinks and black coffee. Is that what it takes?
I mean, like that they help. Yeah, they do help keeping satiated in those times where you are hungry. Wouldn't abuse it.
How much is black coffee? Isn't black coffee, which I've abused lately, but isn't black coffee sometimes you feel like it's a meal? Like if you could chew it, you'd chew it because you don't have nothing else to do. You can't eat. You're dying,
exactly
so you
right,
just go fucking have a black coffee.
Coffee will help actually like suppress your appetite too, and will act as a diuretic. So, and the carbonation in low energy. What do you call it? Zero sugar energy drinks, Pepsi Max as well. All those. They make you feel fuller, so you're going to use them to your advantage.
Isn't 1,500 calories a lot? Low?
Yeah, it's very low. Yeah.
Were you pushing it then?
Oh yeah, I was maybe a bit too much.
I'm thinking. I felt like you
That's when, yeah.
That one was a big push.
Yeah, that's when, look, and that was, me and Sam only did one prep together realistically. So it was like, you got to learn these things, obviously. And so he pushed.
But he probably wanted you to come in as ripped as possible.
100%.
To win.
Yeah, which I did. I did come in very lean. I think I still could have been leaner, but also I do think that I was flat as well. I feel like my carbing up process, I need to have kind of, it doesn't have to be shitty foods, but I have a very fast, what do you call it? Metabolism, to the point where like I can eat, a lot of good food, but it just like goes straight through me, man. Which is like fine in some
maybe you've got to play around with some things. I still don't understand diets, and I eat well. I eat clean. The only thing I've realized of late, I do very well, which I didn't know, but I do a lot better with white meat, chicken, than red meat.
Okay.
And with red meat as well, I do a lot better with less fat in the red meat. If it's got too much fat in it, it actually bloats me a bit much.
Okay, yeah. Everyone's a little bit different.
I found that with red meat.
Yeah.
I found if red meat is lean, really lean, like veal stuff like that,
that's pretty,
very lean.
Pretty normal.
Yeah, my body loves it.
Yeah.
It loves chicken, breast.
Yeah, it's probably because of the fat content.
And it likes tuna as well, but it does not like fat. Even thigh fillets and bolognese. Like I like making bolognese, but it's got that fat element in it sometimes.
Yeah.
My body just, any little bit of fat, my body doesn't like it.
It'll slow down digestion if you're having like higher fats generally and stuff like that. But
I felt like it did.
It's also person to person. Like I have high fats. I wouldn't say low carbs, but high carbs, high fats, and high protein. Maybe moderate carbs, I would say in that case. But and I feel good. Everything digests perfectly. If it's for me, is if I have too many carbs, my carbs are too high. That's when I start getting bloated and in digestive issues and stuff. So that's where you got to find a little bit of balance with everyone, obviously.
Yeah, I find rice is good for me.
Yeah.
Rice is. I have to have rice.
Yeah,
rice has got to be in it, and I have to have. Definitely have to have rice in my meals. Potatoes good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Potatoes for me, they fill me up because they're starchy.
But you know what's funny? Pasta today is shit. I don't know what it is about it.
Yeah, it's
in the past it was good. We'd be like back in the 90s, 80s. Pasta was different. Don't ask me. I don't know. I think it was different.
Macaroni and kima.
It was just different. It wasn't like it is now. Sometimes I just I used to ball up pasta shells or pastas, whatever you call it, and have chicken on the side just with plain pasta.
No, I can't do that.
No, I can. A bit of salt.
I need to have some sauce.
No, actually, we didn't even do sauce. You guys have brought in sauce.
Really?
It's all calorie counting. You guys count calories a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we never counted calories. We just, the plate told us if it was going to be lean or not.
Yeah, it's different.
Less on the plate, like just...
100%, yeah. Well, that's in theory, that works.
When I said less on the plate, I'm talking about chicken breast and rice.
Yeah.
And squeezed lemon on top.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
Or no lemon, or just a bit of salt. Like whatever it was, we didn't put sauces. It wasn't about sauces. Now everyone wants to make it delicious.
Most people are going to use sauces.
But that's what they do and what we're doing at the moment. It's all calorie counting. So another pen post you had, what a full day of eating is for 110 kilos. Is that how much you're weighing now? How much are you weighing now?
106.
110 kilo bodybuilder. 4,813 calories.
Yeah, I think that's what it was, yeah.
Carbs, 568. Fat, 148. Protein, 294. Is that, what are you now? What's your calories now?
Well, since I got back from Thailand and I got sick and lost 10 kilos with the food poisoning,
yes.
I've been building it back up. Sitting now at around 4,200 calories, and everything's digesting really nicely, really well. And similar kind of ratios with the fats and carbs and protein. I think my protein's a little bit lower because I don't really need way too high anyway. It's about 220 protein, around 150 fat, and then I think 560 or 550 carbs, roughly, something like that. And I just feel good. I feel mentally clear. I don't feel sluggish. I don't feel shit. Everything digests great, man. And so now I'm just slowly pushing up the food as I need.
Yeah.
Not overdoing it, nothing like that. Just ensuring that, like, it's all muscle.
Okay, we'll get into what's going to happen next shortly.
Yeah.
Even talk about PEDs a bit more.
Yeah.
10 days old post. You said 3 things you wish you knew when you started training.
Yep.
First one was nutrition.
Yep.
Nutrition is the forefront.
Yep.
Second thing was intensity.
Yep.
Yeah. And the third is getting a coach.
Yeah.
You still live by those 3 things, even though it was only a 10-day ago post?
Of course I do. 100%. Because the thing is, I was very stubborn when I first started with all of it, because this is how I am. I like to learn things. I like to learn the hard way, whether it was relationships, whether it was training, whatever it was. I like to put myself in the situation where I can fail so that I can learn from it. And so that's why the first 3 years of when I was training and stuff, I didn't have a coach. And so I should have got one a lot earlier. Probably only needed about a year to do it myself. And then after that, it was kind of stagnant. It was a little bit, I also didn't have much money back then too. Obviously a younger kid. Anyway, and so I really wish that I had gotten a coach from the start, because I'd be at least like 2 years ahead, 3 years ahead almost, kind of fucked around for a few years. But everyone does it. Everything happens for a reason on their own journey and shit. So I would have learned that stuff a lot quicker if I had a coach. Not just saying that because I am a coach. You can go to a different coach or me, whatever you want. But
yeah, of course. Do you think, what are the clients? I think everyone tries to make it out like it's a glamorous life being a coach, but a lot of the clients aren't necessarily competitors, are they?
No.
What are the clients like? What are they usually?
They're general population, I would say. People that just want to make a change to their lifestyle because they're either sick of being like overweight or they're unhappy with themselves in whatever reason. I have like one of the boys that I've been training for 3 years now. 2 years. He came to me and he was like kind of unhappy with how he looked, but the main reason he wanted to get into it was because he wanted a challenge. Even that's a little bit more unique.
Yeah, it is unique. I like that.
And he knows, like, I talked to him about it yesterday, actually. And because he said to me yesterday, we were talking about it, he was like, I have had a bit of an easy upbringing. I wanted something to challenge me. And I was like, that's a very, good, what's the word? Character trait to have.
Yeah. Which
is a bit of self-awareness and put yourself in those positions. Anyway, so it's generally, those are the majority of it. Like 90% general population, 10% competitors.
Do you find, how do they adhere to the nutrition part? Because that's I think that's sometimes the most challenging part.
Yes, I would say depending on the person, some people like the rigidity of the routine and maybe they've been doing it for a while, training and stuff, so they're already in that, but they just didn't know what to eat, properly and what to do exactly. So then I give them that direction, they do it, they get the results. The more difficult ones obviously are the people who are doing a complete lifestyle change. As long as they don't have the mentality that they think that they're going to change their life and their weight in about 12 weeks, then they'll do really well, because it's going to take a while. I've got some boys at like 120. I had, Gabriel, for example, he was 140 when he started. He came to me, he lost about 15 kilos himself. He came to me when he was 125. I was like, all right, let's fucking do this shit, And so I gave him like a basic diet plan, meal plan. I said, look, these are your calories. If all else fails, this is what you fall back on. I want you to start learning how to use MyFitnessPal. So we're going to start tracking your food, things like that. We're just going to start eating better. It's going to take a little bit of time to get to where you want to get to, but we'll do it, Yeah. And he was a very shy kid and stuff, but he just has a similar mentality where he just fucking, if he wants something, he just does it.
Yeah.
So he just did what I said. He came and trained more regularly, everything like that. Now he's down to like 85 kilos.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah. But it's taken almost like 2 years.
Makes sense.
But yeah, 100%. Because it's building habits and lifestyle.
At the same time, losing weight too quickly, you become withdrawn.
100% too.
Because of the medication at one stage, which did it twice to me, I went to nearly far out. Like at the moment, I'm 89 kilos. I'm really 84 kilos. That's what I should be. 83, 82. 82 is good. Age is good. I got to 107. I got to 120. Trust
Jesus.
me. I know. You should have seen me when we first started. You should go back and look at the podcast number one.
Go back.
Trust me, you see the gut on that guy.
Go back,
you go see the gut on that guy. And the sideburns. You should see the sideburns on that guy. But when I put the plan to lose the kilos, I gave myself 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I said, no, if I go too quick, I'm going to lose muscle.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look withdrawn. And I'm going to look older than what, because I've seen guys lose weight.
Yeah.
And fuck, they look like they've aged.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so you just have to
lose the muscle alongside with it, or they don't train and they just lose weight.
Yeah, and you got to be like, you lose it in your face, you lose it in your arms.
Yeah.
You just fucking lose it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you got to be. It's a slow process.
It is a slow process. That's why for those boys, it's like a complete lifestyle thing. As long as they understand and they're willing to take their time and do it the right way. Because I got one of the other boys, Nick, for example, he came to me and he was like, I've, tried to change my lifestyle multiple times, but I kept going too fast into it and just cutting like all the bad food out. And obviously withdrawals kick in and you just start binging. And so it never works that way. You have to live a, sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah.
Enjoy a little bit of bad food, but for the most part, 90%, 80% of the week, we're going to eat good foods and we're going to make it taste good and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And you get sick of something, we change it up. And you can still have that meal on the Friday night with the missus or the Wednesday night with the boys, and you still have something to look forward to. It doesn't mean you got to cut it out completely. And so he's been doing really well this time around.
Yeah, I find the secret most people should focus on, I always used to say, is if you can't get it together Monday to Friday, your bucket is on the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So
sure.
because why I think is Monday to Friday is you're working.
Yeah.
You don't have distractions.
Yeah.
You don't have your partner or people around you all day and all night because you're working.
Yeah.
But on the weekend you do, so that's where you want to have some fun maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you haven't got it right Monday to Friday, then you don't deserve the pizza.
I do agree with that.
Because that's how I look at it. Because I found it simple. Because I found it like my lunch, like I used to take, back then it was a little bit different. We didn't pack.
Yeah.
But we just took cans of tuna with us.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we go to the Chinese shop downstairs and say, can you give me some boiled rice? That's all we did, and go upstairs.
Yeah.
Or we go to the chicken shop and say, can you give me half a chicken, cut it in 4?
Yeah.
And I'll get that potato. And that's how we ate. No one took containers, right? We didn't know about containers. And or maybe the pros did.
Yeah,
but not us.
It wasn't like widely known.
Yeah, it wasn't widely known. But the thing was, I just knew during the week, that's how I ate.
Yeah.
So clean. And then on the weekends, we'd be having burgers. We'd have, 2:00 in the morning, we'd be down at the Cross at some Italian restaurant in the back street somewhere, eating.
My dad says that.
Yeah. We'd be, there was, the Cross, you don't know.
It was the thing back then, yeah.
You'd go there at 4:00 in the morning and you'd be having food.
Yeah.
Like at proper cafes.
That's literally what he's
Iguanas.
4:00 in the morning,
4:00 in the morning.
or whatever it was.
Yeah, and the sun would be coming up and you're smashing a steak Diane.
Yeah. That's insane.
Steak Diane with mashed potato.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, sometimes we'd go in the back into some seedy restaurants and we'd go down the back and sit down like in the restaurant, and then we have lasagna with garlic bread at 4:00 in the morning. And we're bodybuilding, but we thought, but in our head, that was like our reward.
Yeah,
but we were dancing all night. We were
You're moving, man. You're converting calories.
So
back
much
then.
moving. But I'll tell you what was really funny, which you probably didn't hear on a podcast. I said it once. Do you want to know? I'll tell you what a Friday night was like, or a Saturday night.
Yeah.
You go to your mate. Listen, we're going out tonight.
Yeah.
You go, all right, we're going out. He goes, all right. So pick us up at 8, 9 o'clock, whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
So you go home, right, from work. Go home. Go to the gym. We'd smash the gym before going out. So we'd go there and do, that's the quickest session we'll ever do.
Yep.
It's because we're going out. So we do a quick session because we just thought, touch the weights, get a pump, make the arms look good for the t-shirt. We'd smash quickly the Friday night, whatever the workout had to be, biceps and tries and chest, whatever had to, big back.
Yeah.
We didn't touch legs maybe at that on Friday nights because, we were wearing trousers.
Dancing.
Right. And then we'd go out, right? So we'd have dinner at home, gym, dinner at home, go out.
Yep.
Get smashed, drink, whatever. Eckies, whatever.
Yeah.
If we're up the Gold Coast, that is.
Yeah.
We'll do whatever. Then, no joke, we were so caught up in bodybuilding that sometimes we didn't want to pick up chicks because we wanted to eat at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Fuck sex, we wanted to eat.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah, I can
so we
imagine
go, oh, fuck the girls. No, man.
Yeah.
Like, if some mates did pick up, we say, well, mate, you're not coming with us. We're going to go eat now. And sometimes they give that up to come and eat.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of, and at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, we'd be at some pizzeria.
Yeah.
And we'd be having family pizzas.
Yeah.
Right? Or pastas or whatever we were doing.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. We're smashed. And back then there wasn't much DUI. I mean, we drank drunk. Then we'd get home, no joke, at 6 o'clock in the morning or so, whatever it was, some ungodly hour, right?
Yeah.
And we go, hey, do you want to do Bondi today? This same day, Bondi Beach, right? Yeah, hey, leave me out. Do you want to do Bondi today? They go, yeah. All right. What time are we going to Bondi? All right, let's get a gym session in beforehand. 10 a.m. So we'd go to bed.
No, that's foul.
No, we'd go to bed at 4 o'clock. Let's say 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
We'd be up at 9:30.
That's disgusting.
Go have a workout. Disgusting. You know, we'd still have our boiled eggs.
Yeah.
We'd be eating it on the way there.
Yeah.
6 egg whites.
Yeah.
Go to the gym, smash the session, go home. If some of us needed to use VIT because we had to get rid of some hair, and by 12 o'clock we're at the gym. We're at Bondi Beach. No Tupperwares. Yeah. All day. And just go up to the chicken shop. No, the fish shop was up there, and the boys that I know now that owned it go up to the fish shop, get grilled fish. Yeah. Grilled fish.
Yeah.
And then there was a little frozen yogurt place.
Yeah.
Stay there till the sun went down. And then go home. And guess what? Go out. That was for 10 years. That was for 10 years.
It sounds like a nightmare to me.
I know.
But it's fun.
But we were training.
Yeah.
And we did not think we were doing anything wrong.
Yeah, I know. No one knew back then. It was completely.
But everyone still looked jacked.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't ask me why. They look jacked. We all look jacked.
Probably eating well, you know.
We're just eating well, good food, but a lot
moving. Yeah,
moving. But we were moving down at the beach. Like maybe we were smashing a lot of calories, but we weren't calorie counting.
Yeah, exactly right. You're just eating food. Which is typically, I mean, it works.
But we were eating, eating all the time, eating. Yeah, there was a place down in La Crosse. We go, hey, steakhouse, it's $10 steaks. Big T-bones. We'd be there at 11 o'clock at night, Friday night. Like, it was all about, like...
Everything was open back then too.
It was open, but it was party.
Yeah.
But food.
Yeah.
And we had to squeeze in the training.
Yeah. I feel like that would still exist if there were no, like...
If there
were no lockout laws, if things were still open, things just close at like what, 9?
Well, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, the thing is, but I'm not saying that you couldn't. Like we obviously could not. Oh, you'd be surprised if it was competing and still doing that with us.
Well, yeah,
but you couldn't.
No.
But they weren't competing to pro levels.
No, exactly right. You can.
So I didn't see you didn't see some of the pros out there. Not that we knew who everyone was, but. Every fucking bodybuilder was either doing the door or in the clubs.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
What I mean is, that's what I'm trying to say to you, was a different lifestyle. We did not know, oh, you got to get 8 hours sleep. We didn't even know fasting.
Yeah.
We didn't even know calorie counting.
Yeah.
All we knew was the gym session was, and gym sessions, which I mentioned, we didn't go to the gym like, oh, this is great, hooray.
Yeah.
We'd go and go, what are we doing today? Are you fucking serious? We're doing legs today? Fuck me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this. Every workout was like, are we going to get through this workout?
Yeah.
Back, it was ridiculous. Even today you go, what the fuck are these principles you're using? But all of them were progressive overload. It was all overload. So you went and we didn't wear nice clothing. Mate, the gear we wore, the shoes were ripped, the tracksuits were ripped. You wore the worst.
Yeah.
We even trained in sloppy joes at summer. No one showed their body off.
Yeah.
The only time you showed your body off was in the toilets. Yeah, come, I'll show you. No one flexing in the gym. No posing rooms. Like we just didn't know. You know what I mean?
It was a different thing, man. I kind of like. I wish I kind of experienced that, to be honest.
Yeah, it was just kind of like. Because, I know everyone talks about the gym, and the gym is a great environment, social environment, lovely environment, beautiful environment. But when we went, mate, you could cut your finger on the cables because they hadn't snipped them correctly.
Yeah.
And calluses was second to none.
Yeah.
But every workout, everything, and everyone was screaming.
Yeah, but
dropping
that's what I like.
weights.
I like that. That's why Metroflex.
Yeah.
And it's not like dirty or anything.
No,
you know,
no.
you've seen it. It's well maintained, everything like that, but it still has that same vibe.
No,
That good vibe.
when I walk into Metroflex, I grow.
Yeah.
Just walking in there. And
Well, that's why you look at the boys that are in there. That's why I moved there. Not even just the equipment, the environment,
yeah, Manny's on a major dog.
the people, the community.
I've changed structurally.
It's great. Yeah.
I've changed structurally going there, and I've also changed mentally. And I also realised,
100%.
fuck, I've been complacent. And also, everyone's a threat to me now because I'm thinking, well, if they're doing it, I've got to keep up, even though they're competing.
100%.
But
it's a good, healthy
I'm like,
competition.
No, I'm not going to let fucking like you. I see you walking in. I go, what the fuck? Look how big he looks. I got to up the game.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't want you to be big, but like you said, even the young boys, everyone.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think. No, there's not one person in there complacent at the moment.
No, I wouldn't say so.
I'm telling you, no one goes in there just to fluff.
No.
I think if you go to fluff, you don't last in there. Not
Yeah.
because no one pushes you out. I think it's the fact
They'll feel uncomfortable.
they'll feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even the girls.
Yeah,
What are
they
you talking
train well.
about, man?
They look
I'm
great.
like, Metroflex is, like I said, there's no time for fluffing. And everything, actually my training's changed completely being there. Like even now, I had forgotten about, like I said, reps in reserve. And like I said, just watching you, but all the other people, everybody, all the competitors, who's competing, Cooper, Jerome, this other guy, like I don't know all their names. They're all John, Huss, everyone. But what I'm getting at is, but not just them.
Yeah.
Just old school guys. You can tell they've old school bodybuilders are in there.
Yeah.
Some guys that aren't competing have got good genetics. But just everything though. Like I said, look, there's no fluff in there, and that's what I like about it.
Same.
And there's no pressure as well to get in there and. We can talk about this and get out too quickly, but what about this 2 hour training? What the fuck is that, eh? You wrote that 2 hours. Why are people training for 2 hours?
2 hours is a long time to train.
It is a long time to train.
I think back in the day,
it was 2 hours.
it was normal.
It was 2 hours.
2-3 hours, I can imagine. It was normal back then, but that was like, no one knew about volume management, things like that, to ensure that you're recovering properly. And look, even then, maybe some people, they don't really care about that, and that's fine. Whatever makes you happy, right? But like if someone comes to me and they say, I want the most efficient yet effective way to like do things, I'll say 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
There's
That's
no,
it.
I think
Max.
Yeah, It was funny back then, but I'll tell you another funny story. We used to go train,
Yeah.
and say we did. What's 2 body parts you do together? Name me 2 of your body parts.
Chest and shoulders.
All right, you do chest and shoulders. We'd go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like I said, we do chest.
Yeah.
So we'd smash chest out there. But not only are you smashing chest, you're actually spotting people. That's why it took so long.
Yeah, I can imagine that too. Yeah.
No, that's why it took so long.
Yeah.
And we didn't even know each other. We knew some,
Yeah.
but spotting was lore.
Yeah.
If you didn't spot someone, get the fuck out of the gym. And you had every right to ask someone to spot.
Yeah, 100%.
So we'd go, if I didn't know you, I'd go, mate, can you spot me?
Yeah.
If you said no, it was like cardinal sin.
I'd hope that no one says no.
No one did.
Yeah, no one would.
No one did. And if they asked you,
Yeah.
you were like, yeah.
100%.
There was no no's, right?
Yeah.
So that's why it took so long, because we were spotting each other.
Yeah.
Everyone was spotting as well.
Yeah.
But the funniest thing is we'd finish chest
Yeah.
and we believed we needed to sit down for 20 minutes before we started shoulders.
No way.
Yeah. So we used
It's probably not a bad idea.
so we used to
actually.
go. We used to go.
Maybe it's
no,
a right
we used to go
idea.
sit down.
Yeah.
We used to sit down. No joke. Pull out a banana.
Eat
Have a banana.
and then go back into it.
Maybe some rice cakes.
Yeah.
Have a little chat.
It's like not
and
a
then,
bad
and then,
idea.
And then we go,
but
are you ready? And we go, maybe another 5 minutes. We talk.
You're chilling.
Chill and just
Yeah.
rest the body. And then we go hit
I'm
shoulders.
kind of envious I didn't have that kind of life.
We had
pretty awesome.
No, we had intermission.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's why it took 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's why it took, and it was everybody.
That's pretty cool though.
So we'd hit, like I said, chest,
Yeah.
done, complete, we're done. All right, let's go sit down. And we sit down, like I said, bananas come out, fucking rice cakes,
That is awesome.
chat,
though.
just chat. What are we doing this weekend? What are you
Yeah,
going to do? Yeah. You ready to go? Maybe not yet.
Yeah.
We ready to go? All right, let's go. And no joke, we'd go and warm up again, shoulders up, ready to warm up, and then go.
I think it's pretty cool.
So that's what we did. That's what was 2 hours, man. No one went from chest to shoulders. We did chest and we sat down.
Yeah.
We rested for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Let the body calm down. That's why it took 2 hours, man. And plus, we had nothing else to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm kind of envious. I wish I could just do that. That's why COVID
And gyms
was great.
shut at 9 o'clock too.
They do. Most of them do. Most of them are not 24 hours. The 24
Back then it was 9 o'clock. So what I'm getting is, but we still got it.
Oh, back then it was 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. But what I mean is, we didn't. Like I said, we didn't rush.
Yeah,
That's why.
that's kind of there's a lot more chillax back then, huh?
A lot.
Yeah, I kind of wish I lived through
lot,
it. I'm a bit of an 80s boy.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, like I said to you, it wasn't. Look, I want to get in and out. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
But there's smarter ways to train. But I do think. Look, I said to you, it wasn't fun going to training.
Yeah.
But in some ways, not you guys, but somehow everyone's taken the fun out of training.
Yeah.
Because it's become all about training. We trained.
Yes.
And it didn't involve our personal life. We didn't. Yes, we could have done better.
Yeah.
But we didn't make it like, no, man, I can't go out tonight to this pizzeria with you guys and have fucking.
I know what you're saying.
No one ever spoke about that. No one said, "Oh my god, I'm ripping up. It's my birthday, and my birthday's like they're different about comps."
Yeah.
But I guess we weren't doing comps. But no one was like, "No." It was just don't ask. Don't know. The only thing we cut out was junk food, like we cut out desserts type thing. But when it came to food, there was no such thing as what pizza's not good for bulking.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Bosciola?
Yeah.
With a garlic bread?
Better quality back then as well.
Bosciola with was bulk. That was that food.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
The first when
Yeah.
autumn came in.
Yeah.
To the first day of spring. So autumn and winter.
Yep.
Was bulk.
Bulking period.
We even had different clothing.
Yeah, 100%.
We had bulking clothing.
Yeah, some people still do.
Yeah, we have bulking clothing. With jeans we can't fit in.
Yeah.
So that's the jeans, that's the t-shirts, that's the
Pretty sick,
tracksuit. And you know what? We lived in tracksuits.
Yeah.
We'd go and we all with our bum bags.
How I generally do in winter, actually.
Yeah. We all bulked.
Look,
We there was always 2 seasons every year. We never
100%.
said, no one went, I'm going to go, like I said, different for competitors. But we never did 2 years of bulking. We just did bulk phase,
yes,
lean phase. And then we saw the muscle.
Yeah.
Then we said, bulk harder.
Yeah.
And then we saw the muscle.
Yeah.
Then we bulked harder.
Yeah.
But it was never, we had to see the muscle. We had to lean down. And we also, we like I said, I don't know, maybe it was just the beach and the walk. And you had to do the beach walk. If you're a bodybuilder, you had to start from the south end of Bondi Beach.
Still do that.
And but that's right. Or this part of Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Or that part of La Perouse.
Yeah.
Or that part of Brighton. Not so much now with Brighton.
Yeah.
But there was a pre-mandatory, you're a bodybuilder, you have to do the walk.
Yeah.
And it was cardio walk too. We thought that was a cardio walk too.
It was just a walk.
It was just a walk to burn.
Yeah, steps to steps.
Steps to steps, but that's what we did.
Yeah.
Do you know how many bodybuilders used to walk back and forth?
Yeah, I can imagine.
And that's who you idolized.
Yeah.
So that was your...
That's why you did it.
That's why you went, fuck, look at this bloke, I've got to train harder.
100%.
So it was funny, but now it's
a different...
like everybody is...
It's look. I think some people get into it for the wrong reasons. They get into bodybuilding to compete.
Yeah, we never.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying is we didn't. We love bodybuilding.
I didn't.
No.
I think even from pre-2020, maybe even like the last 6 years, that's when it started to be like a lot more well known. The bodybuilding and the competitive, competition. Sorry. Through TikTok and stuff, it's a lot more exposed. But even before 2020, it wasn't like that crazy or that big of a thing. Yeah. So even those boys, us boys who have been training for 10 years, we train because we love to train. And then we realized, hey, there's competitions. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. We're competitive people. Yeah. So why not go and compete? Yeah. But if you I think people, some competitors still get stuck where they think that it's just competition. But it's no, I fucking love to train. I enjoy eating the food that I'm eating. Yeah. I just now have some sort of goal that I need to kind of head more to that direction. But I'm not waking up thinking, fuck, competition in 52 weeks, let's go. I fucking train. The competition's going to happen regardless. I just, you know.
I just like looking at the quads, the teardrop at times, and if the bicep look good, and measuring the bicep if it's how many centimeters.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like, but what I'm getting at is, I think I said to someone too, again, look, I mean, that's why I got a podcast, a bodybuilding podcast, and why would I? It's just that I've done the time, you know, from 18 years old till now. That's 3 and a bit decades.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is, you know, competing and all that is a destination. It's not the journey.
No,
bodybuilding's the journey.
Yeah, every day is a journey.
So if you just bodybuild for competitions, when the competitions are over, you're going to find it very hard to know what. But the gym is a lifestyle. It's brushing teeth. It's washing your hair.
Yeah.
It's even if it's just general three. Even if later you are. I'm 5 meals a day now.
Yeah.
Because I want to change a few things. But at one stage, I was not 5 meals a day. I was 3 meals a day.
There's nothing wrong with that.
And it wasn't
trying to compete.
I was just wanting to touch the weights. It wasn't. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said to you, it's if you're going to do pedal to the metal all the time with the gym, I don't think you'll last.
No,
I'm telling you won't last.
No, you won't.
There was times when I got into business and I couldn't get to the gym. I was pissed off. I couldn't go.
Yeah.
But business was business. But then the business started looking after itself, and then I went, what was the first thing I said? I'm going to the gym. And when I found business too tough, the first thing I said is I need to get back in the gym to clear my head.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I got back in. So there was times where, I was a year away from the gym, 2 years, but I've got to go back.
Yeah.
So I think people need to know that it's such a long game. It's the journey, man.
It is the journey. You have to enjoy the journey. Otherwise, you'll never get to the destination.
You will never. My posing routine, you came up with this a week and a half before your competition.
Yes.
That's leaving it a bit tight, don't you think so? But you always admired Flex Wheeler, and the songs have so much meaning and depth. I mean, call me cringe, but it's more than getting into a G-banger and posing around for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
But it's also, memories to look back at. I must say, posing today, which, again, we didn't know what was going on in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Like, it was prerequisite for the Sean Rays and all those people to do what they're doing.
Yep.
But there was an element, there was only a few of them still doing it.
Yeah.
Like, Dorian didn't focus on posing.
No, I don't.
I mean,
it's not marked.
Yeah, but it was marked once upon a time.
It was actually.
But now it just seems like you guys have embraced posing. And to be honest, now you guys are reminiscing an era which I didn't pay attention to. And now watching you guys pose, I'm thinking, oh, bring it on.
Yeah, it's
so
beautiful.
now I'm actually watching you guys on stage or watching your videos, and anybody that's doing a beautiful posing routine, I'm actually sending back messages or like even Peter Hardwick.
Yeah.
Like I got him on the podcast too, but very early days.
Yeah.
But I would look, like I said, man, guys, fuck. The posing is the entertainment, the spectacle. Like,
I think that's probably the best part of it.
I think at the moment, you guys, I think, you need to embrace that harder and better. I mean, you're doing it, but what I'm getting at is, I just feel that is the cherry on top. If you can do a beautiful routine, you got fans, people
100%.
liking you.
Yeah.
And I think you're also taking the meathead aspect away from it and giving us back the art of that
bodybuilding,
Greek, Italian statue, fighting soldier body.
Yeah.
I think
that's where it stems from, really.
I think, and like I said, is that how you feel about posing?
Yeah, I love it. That's why I said Flex Wheeler was like really good at it, right? It was beautiful. Plus his physique. So when you have the physique to present alongside like really beautiful posing, Sean Ray was good as well. And some of those other, whoever else. But they were just beautiful to watch. It's like a dance. It's like a choreographed dance.
Even Lee Priest did some beautiful routines as well. Like I said to you, you'd be surprised.
Yes, Lee Priest was good too.
Yeah, because I know that like the Ronnie Coleman's didn't, and I know the Jay Cutlers didn't, and they're all goats and amazing. But
it's just an aspect of it that kind of adds to.
I think they showed that bodybuilding's got a groove. It's a soul, a bit of attitude, man. There's some spunk in it, man. That's what we did it for. It wasn't. Man, it's glamour. It's not. It wasn't just walking around looking like a fucking meathead walking. Like it's just no one likes that. There was an element of beauty, symmetry. Symmetry was so important. Even like some of the big guys, when you listen to their stories, you know, they talk about not turning up to be the biggest.
Yeah.
They're turning up to be the best symmetrical and win the comps on that merit.
Yeah.
So when everything's proportioned nicely, that's what makes you win.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be just because you got the fucking biggest quads in the room, biggest bulging shoulders. But if you're not symmetrically built, I don't know. I don't think bodybuilding should be judged on big. I think it should be judged on symmetrically perfection. If you're big and you're symmetrically perfect, but I think the size of the arm to match the shoulder, to match the chest, to match the quads, to match just the whole thing matching up. You know what I mean?
It's important. I think that's why it's one of the criteria is symmetry. Really, you know. I think a few years ago, that's when it kind of started to shift more towards the just mass monster.
Yeah.
But then they're pulling it back now towards.
I think I've noticed that they're pulling. I think I've watched that. I've watched that.
Yeah, which is like good because I think that's the way it should head.
I mean, I agree with you, man. A post you've posted on the 3rd of March, you said if you have no self-belief, there's no chance you're going to get the goal that you want to get. You need to have self-belief. You need to have that from day one, even though family and friends doubted you why you're doing bodybuilding, wasting your time. It was your self-belief that got you through it. And if you have a plan A, stick to it. And your plan B should be plan A.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that one.
It goes back to when I told myself, when I went on the journey of actually like, you know, training and into the coaching and everything like that, I didn't have a plan B. I just said, I'm going to figure it out. Because if you put yourself in the deep end, you have to either you sink or swim.
Yeah.
So you do the things that you need to do to try and get to that point that you want to be at. You figure it out along the way because you don't actually know. There's no blueprint, realistically. Yeah. You just work hard. And even when like nothing's going your way, you just keep doing it until eventually it does. And then it's just rinse and repeat, realistically. Like there's still days now where I'm like, am I doing the right thing? You know, because things start to plateau and stagnate.
Yeah.
And you just say to yourself, just keep fucking going. So you just keep fucking going. And then eventually something comes of it. It's just realistically just why have a plan B? Because you're never going to put in, you're always going to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah,
if you have a plan B, you know what I'm saying?
I've never had a plan B when I think about it. Yeah.
Just kind of just you have something that you want to do, you fucking go figure it out. You know? It'll be hard.
I don't think, why do you need a plan B? I mean, where we're going with this, we just want to either grow, compete.
That's what I'm saying.
Be a better person.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Be a good representative.
Yeah. Nothing worth having comes easily. So
No. So is it true whenever your coach says 3 more, they're lying?
Yeah, 100%.
There are 3 phases of your coach saying 3 more. Phase 1, there's hatred.
Yeah.
Phase 2, disbelief.
Yeah.
There is a moment of shut the fuck up and do it.
Yeah.
And then phase 3 is get the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much the
yeah, like when you're training someone?
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
That's a template?
Yeah, it's more or less pretty. I thought it was pretty, you know, summarize it pretty well.
Yeah.
The coach is just thinking, just fucking do it. Just shut up. just do it. And the client obviously is having disbelief and they don't want to do it, but they're going to fucking have to do it anyway.
That's true.
Yeah.
Training 7 reps in reserve, you saw a study that says no one needs to get...
Oh, my God.
No one needs to get to this 7 reps. You can leave 7 reps in reserve and you're going to... You don't even need to go to failure because you're going to get the same results and you just said, you know, just train to failure and stop being a bitch.
Yeah, basically.
Studies like that frustrate you. Was that a true study?
Yeah, apparently it was, which is like...
Even though it was done only with 10 people.
Fucking ridiculous, yeah. It was stupid as hell, man.
Yeah,
I hate that stuff.
Yeah, that you don't need to go to. You can leave 7 reps.
Well, the thing is, why are you training in the first place if you're not even going to give your all? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point?
I've come to realize. I've come to realize, especially at Metroflex.
Yeah.
And Dorian Yates said, "Your mind will give up before your body," and I've noticed it so much. Yeah. I've realized that I could stop at 5, and before you know it, I'm doing 19.
Most people stop when it starts to burn.
Yes.
It's like if it's that's the first like 7 reps, it starts to burn. If you're gonna stop then, you've got like so many more in the tank, especially with legs.
I've done that for years.
It's most people.
I did that for
To be
years.
honest.
I didn't realize.
It's my job to make sure they don't fucking do that.
All right, guys, you got to take on George as a
Keep
coach,
pushing.
guys.
Yeah.
You're not a fan of using orals in the off season because if you're going to, it could cause a GI stress, possibly breaking down food issues, organ stress. You lean more towards injectables.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I think from
Would only
perspective.
and you'd only entertain orals maybe six weeks out of a comp. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Why is that? What does that all mean?
Well, essentially, orals can cause digestive stress. If it's going to cause issues with your digestion, it's going to affect your off-season performance, right? Because you need to be pushing as much food as possible with the least kind of issues with your digestion. More digestive issues leads to more inflammation, which leads to more problems. It's just why have that issue when you can just inject and avoid all of that completely.
I'm just remembering when I did my cycle and I was doing some orals and
Yeah.
what makes sense. The
Yeah.
injectables were a little bit better, but tell us about what the shisha guy, the boy's character, and Honey. We're talking about these people.
Yeah.
and what's her name? Honey finding a new form of protein.
Oh, yes. Well, essentially, it's just from experiences that I've had with people. So I've formed these little characters based off of real life scenarios.
Yeah. She found the what's it called? The
Vial.
vial, and she goes, "Is this new full of protein?"
Yeah.
And then before you know it, she got jacked.
Yeah, maybe that's not a real life scenario, but it's what some people would like to happen.
But don't you think? I mean, like I said, we've got equality here. Everyone should get paid the same. So should girls be taking the same amount of gear as guys? Then?
No, not
But they are. Well, from what I'm hearing,
some of them are.
but
I just don't think.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to do it, it's. I'm going to hold back. I'm going to bite my tongue a little bit from what I want to say. But like, if you want to go do it, go fucking do it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to know that you're probably going to experience hair loss. You're going to experience deepening of the voice, start to look like, chiseled jawline and look more like a man. So if that's what you want to do, but go and become a professional, women's bodybuilder, then fucking sure. But I won't even actually coach women that want to go down that route, to be honest. I'm not comfortable with it.
I don't think. Yeah, like I said, because we had Monica Brandt on here, who was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
She was natural. She
women
won
are.
Olympia.
Yeah, some women are.
And even Wendy
believe.
Fortino, we never asked her if she did win on anything, but she still she's got a very feminine side to herself.
Yeah,
Her
there's things that girls-
voice, everything. I think the ones that believe that people like Dorian, people like Lee Priest, people like Sean Ray, they believe they were fucking just walking around with syringes in their asses, but they weren't. They actually had off seasons. They did a lot of time with no cycle.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And very lean, small amounts. And to be honest, even when I did my cycle, it was very small.
Yeah.
I did the second one in the same year, which I thought if I would put more in, I'd get more, and it didn't. I imploded.
Yeah, not always.
No. If I stuck to the beginning, it was perfect.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I wanted to test more.
Yep.
And then I lost my appetite.
Yep.
And energy.
Yep.
Didn't want to go to the gym.
Happens.
And wasn't sleeping well, irritable. And that was because I upped it, because I thought, if I got that from very little, I'll go more. And it actually worked against me.
Yeah,
and I would never,
effect.
if I ever did it again, I'd go so minuscule, because I want to know what minuscule looks like.
Yeah.
And if it's enough, then I feel safer with it.
Yeah, 100%.
Because why if you think
more.
Yeah, why
More
think
risk.
you need 2 mils if you haven't tried 500 grams?
Exactly right.
But then, or 500, whatever it is.
Grams,
yeah, and then go to 1 mil.
Yeah.
But why not just touch it,
Yeah.
see what your body does? It might rejoice straight away in the first 4 weeks, 5-6 weeks. I think that's the best advice we can give people is just, if you're going to do it, go so small. Start somewhere so you can, and then inch it away where you go, I think I found my landing place.
Yeah. It's getting the most out of the least.
I think that's what they did, these guys back then.
Some of them, yeah, for sure. Like I don't think that Lee probably used a lot. I think he's got insane genetics.
And also,
I know some boys that.
But even Ronnie Coleman said he would not be on anything for 6 months. Sometimes they stopped training.
Yeah, some of them did do that. Kevin McBroney.
Yeah.
You know, he would only train, I think, apparently for like 5 months leading into the Olympia every year.
Yeah.
He would stop training. He would stop gear completely.
Yeah.
And he'd just do it for the Olympia. Some people also have the genetics for that. I don't think that's going to work with everyone. But I think taking time off is very important so that your body rests, yeah.
Well, you did say PEDs, do your own research, do your research prior to the amount, and the amount of problems and side effects astonishes you. So don't be that guy and do the research, which, do your research. 100%. We spoke about 2022 comp and 2023 comp. Do you want to know how to go from this to this in the next 6 months? And you said, scratch this. It ain't gonna happen. Everyone wants the shortcut and the magic steroid for quick growth, and it doesn't exist.
No.
The magic drug to quick growth that you're looking for lies in your hard work, proper eating, most importantly, consistency. Growing muscle is a slow process. That is why more important to fall in love with the process. And it's true. I guess what I'm saying is that these kids today, maybe, and we see them, they're doing pretty good. But back in the day, I think it was just picking up weights and the pump.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't look at the mirror so much yet, but it was about the pump and not being able to walk downstairs.
Yeah,
and walk down the street because you did too much. The quads, you smashed them. That
especially at the start, it's like you don't even have that look anyway. So, but when you start noticing some progress, then obviously it keeps you going.
But also go with the pump, go with the feel. I can't. My arms, I can't stretch them out. The quads. I mean, that's
just a good feeling. It's like
good feeling. Go with the feeling. Huh?
Yeah.
AI, not the AI I think we're talking about here, but you don't want your estrogen to be crashed to the ground, because that's going to lead to more side effects, and we don't want the high estrogen either. No. What is it about this estrogen? Tell us about it. I'm confused about this. What is this? Because is this a female thing, estrogen, really?
Well, yeah, it's a female hormone, but it's also it's abundant in you as well, in men. Because testosterone will aromatize.
Testosterone is in women too.
Testosterone is in women, yes. But testosterone, which we have, men mostly, is aromatizes into estrogen. So estrogen is important and vital for like a lot of functions within the body, and it actually assists with muscle growth. So when people are taking AIs and things like that to crush their estrogen, it's actually doing more harm to their growth than it is assisting their growth. So you don't want too much, you don't want too little, because you have too much or too little, that's when you're going to run into issues. If you don't run into side effects, it's going to limit your actual potential for muscle growth. So you want to find that kind of range for you where that is. You got to get blood tests done and stuff like that if you want to find out what the range is, or we can just kind of go based off feel and how things are going in terms of managing side effects. Everyone's a bit different.
Well, you did a part 1 and part 2. You're educating people on PEDs.
A little bit, yeah.
Quick lesson on PEDs, especially part 1, that you definitely need to be using testosterone. And when should you use them and what to use. That was your part 1.
Yep.
And your part 2 was about GH. Break down part 1, part 2 quickly.
Well, part 1, from memory, was essentially saying that you need testosterone as a base.
Yes.
And then that kind of led into the role of estrogen in your cycles and why it's important and not to crush it. And that's why I started talking about the AIs. GH is a different pathway for muscle growth. Obviously, it's not going down the pathway of, testosterone and masteron, primobolan, anyway, and all their derivatives. It's a growth hormone pathway, so help increase IGF-1, things like that. Completely a little bit different, but also necessary. So if you, instead of just pumping up the amount of total androgen usage, which is test, mast, primobolan, DECA, instead of just going sky high with that, we can actually limit the amount of that by increasing the amount of GH use. So the more GH you use, the kind of, in quotations, less AAS that you need, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you limit the risk as well on your body, because the more androgens that you use, the more risk on your liver, kidneys that you're imposing. Whereas GH doesn't quite have that same effect, that negative effect.
But isn't it also risky? GH doesn't discriminate between many things in your body as well.
Yeah, so like if you have cancer
Your heart
or something like that. Yeah, 100%. So it can cause the growth of those things as well. So you need to be careful with it. And that's why it's important to get CKs, like just echocardiograms and shit done on your body to make sure that everything's all right. But most people don't do that.
No, they don't.
No.
We've spoken about that. You spoke about that. Well, that was the very early days. We saw about science, shyness, dropping out of uni as well. Family would have been very disappointed with that one.
Yeah. Now they'll come back around and they see that it's paying off.
Let's talk back about the sales job.
Yeah.
Keep blaming the leads, didn't you?
They were crap.
You sure?
Shit leads, man.
Sales is hard, man.
Sales was hard, especially when you're trying to sell a service that companies didn't really want. The leads that we got, at least.
Do you I'll tell you something about sales, or even your job. The quicker you get no, the better it is. So if you can focus on the no, not the yes, then you're gonna fly through sales.
Yeah,
so the job isn't about the procrastinators, and the job isn't about I hope they say yes, and the job isn't about hanging them on. It's who can I get to not hang on, so I can focus on getting continued sales. When someone says no to you, you should high five them. And when they say no to you quickly, you say I love that, and go.
On to the next.
Never go back and say, why? Go, no problem. I'll come back to you another time.
Yeah, on to the next.
Get out. I used to be in coffee sales, and I used to walk up to the counter of the guy and go, hi, Steve, how are you going with your current coffee supply? Looking at possibly changing? And when he goes, no, I said, no problems. When you're ready to go, here's my card. Give me a call when you're ready. I'll walk out. Or if I'd say, the only time I'd stay and talk to them, if they said, maybe, and they said or they said I'm not happy. There's the only two. But if they said, I go, are you happy with your current coffee supply? They go, yes, no problem.
Beautiful.
Every time, are you happy with your current coach? Yes. Don't even try to change them. Are you happy with your current training? Yes, no problem. Call me when you want to up it. You're telling them that, then they're going to call you.
100%.
But if you sat there and go, no, but I think you can do better. You have wasted so much time.
I don't think that's
anyway, that's part of the sales. You know that. What makes you a standout coach to everyone else? Come on, time to sell yourself, mate. Come on.
I don't sell myself.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm just myself at the end of the day. I think the answer to
that point you got into it doing what you do now is, I guess, if I could say to you, and the thing is about you being the standout, I'll write this down, is that you want to help people. But you truly do.
Like, I truly care about people.
I think you do truly care about people.
I do. I'm a very genuine person.
Yeah, and I think as well, you're a bit of an underdog type person, being what you went through.
Yeah, I like that position though, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's always a bit of a fuck you moment to people who don't believe in me or didn't give me the chance. Because it is what it is. But I think I'm an underdog person. Yeah.
Because I said today, I'm a sucker for the underdog person.
Yeah.
I'm a bigger sucker. I'll help anyone.
Yeah, I like that.
But I hate attitude.
Yeah. I like people who come to me, clients or athletes who come to me and they have the same mentality that I do, but then no one's recognizing them, because I know they're going to still put in the work regardless.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I was my whole life, these last 10 years. They're going to fucking put in the work. They're going to get to where they want to get to. I have the belief in them. That's all I need, is they need my belief. I'll give them the right plans. They just go fucking do it. They get the results. So, yeah, look, I'm not a special coach or anything like that. I think a lot of coaches at my level, there's nothing different about us. The only difference is you'll know who cares and you'll know who you get along with. And I think that's the most important thing realistically. Because let's just say if me and you and the other coach, we all know the same shit realistically. There's like no one that really knows that much more than the next people. It's just going to come down to personality. And so if someone vibes with me, if I get along with someone and we can bounce off each other's energy, then they're going to fucking make it, you know?
Tell us about your partner. She trains too, doesn't she?
She does train, yes.
She also helps, with some of your videos too. Makes your videos more entertaining, a bit funny.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a chemist or somewhere and you find a good mirror to pose at.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's she like?
She's great. She's
great.
her name is Gabriella.
Gabriella.
She's a very lovely girl.
Is that Italian?
No, she's Austrian. Austrian/English. She is like my rock, realistically.
Really?
Yeah. She.
How long you been together?
Almost 2 years.
Yeah.
Almost 2 years.
She comes and trains with you sometimes, doesn't she?
Yes, we train together. She has a similar work ethic to me.
Wow.
She has a very strong drive to do well and kind of grew up in a similar predicament to me, a little bit different. Her parents were together, but more so she was always pushed to do well and to strive for the best. So we always bounce off of each other.
Oh, nice.
She's great.
Yeah, she looks like she pushes pretty hard at the gym. Is she going to compete?
Well, that's not the goal. The thing came from she wanted to look better and care for herself and stuff like that. That's when she started training, met her at the gym. And then I started teaching her how to actually train properly. And she just picked it up like that. And she loves training hard. She trains harder than some of the guys that I train, a lot of the guys that I train. And so I knew that she's very similar to me. We've got the same mentality, same mindset. She's fucking amazing. So she helps me out a lot.
Well, she doesn't really need to compete. She just needs to love the training and do what she's doing. So.
Yeah, there's no will for her to compete, but she thinks that she will do it one day.
Yeah, who knows?
If she wants.
So where are you? Where are you going now? What's on the horizon? What are we looking at? Going forward? What can you tell us about where George Adams is going? What should we be looking out for?
I'm just going to keep doing exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Keep posting content, everything like that. I just want to grow the business more and more, be a little bit more self-sufficient, getting noticed a little bit more. As you said, I'm kind of an underdog. No one really gives me the time of day, but when they do, they see results come, that I'm a genuine person. They stay on for a long time. So that's typically how it goes. I've had people for 4 years since I started this shit. For the simple fact, I think that...
It's not an easy game. Everyone makes it sound like it's an easy game.
It's the retention, I think, when people get into coaching that they underestimate. People just get into it just to coach and stuff. But like I said, if you don't have the right mentality about it, if you don't actually give a fuck about people, it's never gonna work for you.
Yeah, if you're counting numbers,
it's never gonna work for you because you need to build trust. You need to build relationships with people. And if you're not that kind of person and you just want it for the money, I know some people that are in the industry that are towards the top, in terms of income and stuff, that just aren't people persons. And they have clients come to me because they're not replying to their clients. They're not checking in with their clients. They're leaving messages for 2 weeks and being like, sorry, bro, was busy. How are you? It's like, what the fuck are you doing with your coaching business, bro? I don't even know how these people actually make money. There must be some fucking roundabout way, seriously, because they're at like the top echelon of coaches.
Well, maybe they only portray that online. And maybe
I think that is what they portray, which is whatever.
I think they portray that. Like I said, I'll tell you what, ever since we got into this bodybuilding, Jesus Christ, the amount of, sometimes I need a break. I don't even know my own personal socials anymore. Yeah. I need a fucking break. I'm tired of hip thrusts. I'm tired of flexing. I'm tired of guys pulling down their tracksuits and posing. Pretend hard-ons, fucking sexual connotations, fucking quotes, fucking contradictions. It's just hilarious watching what's out there in social media world.
So much, man.
Oh my God. That's, sometimes they should sit back and have a look what they said 2 weeks ago to what they're saying today. Who they were bagging 3 weeks ago for what they said when you're saying the same thing today. And some of it is like, oh my God, it really exhausts the hell out of me. Sometimes I'm thinking, I can't help it though, because I've got to work on my social media.
Same as me, that's the problem.
Sometimes
always tell people, like, I wish I could get rid of Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, I would live solitarily.
Yeah.
I would live the ideal world. I do my coaching and stuff. I do what I love because I love to do it. But then I move to like Katoomba and live in the Blue Mountains with a little farm, you know?
Like
That's
I said
what
to you, I'm telling you, I'm like, yeah,
I don't like the social media aspect of it. I know I have to do it. I enjoy making the content and making connections with people.
You do good.
But when I get stuck into it, and it's just an overload of dopamine, it's a bit too much.
It is. I think I need
I have to put it away.
I told Chris I need a break from it myself. Do you, you're going to compete soon or anything like
The
that?
idea, yeah, season C.
Season C this year?
That's the idea.
The idea. Okay.
If not, it's just as long as Mitch gives the go ahead. Because
Who's your coach at the moment?
Mitch and Body.
Oh, out west?
No, is Metroflex.
Mitch.
He owns Fluor across from Metroflex. Too.
Oh, Mitch.
Yes,
God,
Mitch,
now I
Mitch.
know Mitch. Fluid. No,
Yes,
yeah.
So as long as he gives the go ahead, then for sure. But he wants more size. I want more size. I know I need more size. I'm a very light. I got small joints and stuff, so I'm quite light. So I know I can pack on. Hopefully some more.
All right, let's see what happens there.
We'll see.
Well, before we go and get your sperm count done, we're going to go over the body. Right, we're going to. Have we covered everything? I think we've covered everything. Don't you think we've covered everything? I think we've done a lot, you know. And you're probably not going to have enough energy to at least fill this cup up with your sperm.
If not next time, I'll.
No, we want it now because.
That way I can use it.
Yeah, we want to save it. Plus, we've got a bit of room in the freezer.
Beautiful. Okay.
We've got a bit of room in the freezer. You know. So we're going to go over the body.
Yeah.
Each body part. I just want an exercise. One exercise.
Yeah.
Sets and reps. You ready? All right, traps.
All right, traps. Like how many do I do?
Well, if you train them, and what's the exercise?
I don't. I don't directly train them.
Why does nobody train traps anymore? But they're making a comeback, you know.
They are kind of making a comeback. Mine just fucking grow, man.
Do they?
I mean, I can probably get bigger, but like I don't think that's where I'm lacking. So I just do my rows and RDLs.
Okay. Delts then, side delts.
Yeah.
And exercise sets and reps.
Side dumbbell raises.
Sets, reps.
4 sets. 8 to 15.
Okay. Redelts.
Redelts, 4 sets in a session, probably 4 sets. Similar kind of thing, 8 to 15. I like. Yeah.
Okay. Front delts.
Just shoulder pressing, any kind of pressing, realistically. Shoulder pressing, if I do 2 sets, 8 to 12.
8 to 12. All right. Back.
Yeah. Rowing, pulling down, or both. 2 sets on most things, 8 to 12, I would say.
Yep. Chest.
2 sets, 8 to 12 per exercise.
Bicep.
God, my arms. I like 3 sets. 3 sets on biceps, maybe some 2 set on some heavier stuff, you know, like close grip bench pressing, dips. But typically 3 sets, 8 to 12 as well.
Tricep.
8 to 12, 3 sets.
What exercise for tricep?
I like just bar push downs.
Push downs, right.
Yeah.
And bicep was?
Probably, just dumbbell curl, but with the, you remember the arm blasters?
Oh, yeah.
The arm blasters.
Is there an arm blaster there?
At Metro, yeah.
Oh my God, I've got to find it.
I love it.
What about forearms?
Forearms, honestly, I don't really do anything, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they're making
hammer
they're
curls.
making a comeback at the moment.
Yeah, I'd say hammer curls.
Hammer curls.
Yeah.
Abs.
Yeah, probably just the crunch machine.
Sets, reps.
Easy. Sets, reps, 3, 4. Anywhere 8 to 20.
Yeah. Quads.
I love a hack squat.
Hack squat, yeah.
Love a hack squat.
Sets and reps.
8 to 12.
Sets.
2 sets.
Wow, that's all.
Yeah.
Hammies.
Yeah, it's cooked. Hammies, love me some RDLs for hammies glutes. And seated leg curl instead of lying leg curl, I prefer.
So reps, sets, reps.
8 to 12.
Sets.
I'm a very 8 to 12 kind of guy.
Yeah,
sets too.
Well, you allow room for progressive overload. If you're going to go over, you're going to go over.
Yeah, exactly right.
It means you're
Just
going
a
heavy.
guide.
Glutes.
I don't do anything specifically other than RDLs for glutes, and my glutes are fucking massive. So, and maybe GHR on the back extension or something.
Okay. Sets, reps.
Same 2, 8 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Calves?
Yeah, 4 sets, standing calf raise, 8 to 12.
Okay.
That's
How good is the donkey press at Metro?
I haven't actually used it, to be honest.
Why don't you use it?
I don't know. I just haven't. It just feels awkward for me. I think I used it once and I was like, yeah, it's all right.
It's the best.
Not a fan. I don't know.
You can even watch a movie while doing it. You know that? You could just sit
I could
there,
just chill there, watch.
just fucking
watch
put down your
something,
phone, watch
relax.
YouTube, and just sit there too.
It might be a good idea. I mean, they need to get bigger. So
You should try them. What about tibialis?
I actually haven't done them specifically.
No, I'm just trying to be technical. I told everyone that.
Can
Time to promote yourself. Where can we find George Adams?
Instagram at georgeadams.1. My YouTube link is at George. Oh God, is in the bio of my Instagram.
Which is?
My YouTube.
Yeah.
I think it's just George Adams. To be
George
honest, good
Adams,
luck
yeah.
finding it though. But so go find the link. But yeah, at georgeadams.1 and at GMAX Coaching is my business page, but they're kind of just linked anyway. So
linked together.
all my stuff is pretty much on my main page.
Well, mate, it's time for the sperm count.
Yep. All right.
I just want to say thank you so much. No, you got to do
Thank
it.
you, Steve. Thank you. All right, I'll do it against my will. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thank you
Cheers,
so much.